up, gamers? Oh my god, all these people in chat already. Watching from Brazil? That's cool. Hi, Nadia. Hi, everyone else at the house party. How you guys doing? And you didn't invite me? I should probably, like, fix it so that way my Chrome is showing, huh? That'd probably be smart. It has been a minute since we've done streaming. Is this the right one? Nope. Is this it? Oh, we done it. Yeah, you got to learn. You're going to be playing some Silver Age soon. I hope Ricardo's been a good teacher. How's everyone doing? Okay, so here's my plan for stream. We're starting a little later than I wanted to. Had to do some car shenanigans. So probably stream for like an hour or two. My thought is, obviously we're going to do the coverage of the games, but I want to start with watching the keynote, because even though I was there, I couldn't fucking hear the keynote when it was happening. It was just like way too loud in there, and the acoustics were such that I just like couldn't hear. So I don't actually know what's going on from like all the things they announced in the keynote, other than like a couple pictures that I saw, and I was like, you know what? I'm playing in Worlds. I really don't care. I don't want to fill my brain with all this useless information that's going to make me think about something other than this event. So I was like, I'll just put this off and we can watch this together on stream. Man, I cannot even hazard to guess how to pronounce that. Poyang? My god. Oh, wait, it's Sweepy? Hey, Sweepy. What's up? Preaching the gospel of Nike over there? How many mason jars do you have across your place? That's the real question. LSS is going to release cards? What a sick keynote. All right, let's jump into it. And if you guys want, we can do some story time too.
World Championship Philly, how are we feeling? Can you do me a favor and make a bit of bloody noise?
Wait, can you see me? Probably not. I'm like, can you guys see my mouse? I'm like way back here by the min-max booth. Also, I'm sorry. Who is this? I legitimately don't know who this is.
Can you do me a favor and make a bit of bloody noise? At this point, the World Championship is fully circumnavigated the globe. We started out in San Jose. We ended up in beautiful Barcelona.
Uber shouts. Okay.
In the city
that explains why I don't know who it is.
To find out who will stand amongst the
I was like, is this a dev or something
Hamilton,
that I've just never heard of?
And of course, Grigor Kowalski at the pinnacle of flesh and blood. Also, the race for player of the year is pretty much...
It was so odd to me that James White wasn't here. Is this the first Pro Tour Worlds that James White hasn't gone to? Like, someone mentioned that to me on Sunday, and I was like, wait, really? And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I hadn't seen him all day.
You know, I've been locked up in America and Europe, but in APAC, there's still a lot to be decided. And you better believe the competition is going to hit a fever pitch here in Philly this weekend.
It wasn't Amsterdam, really?
Now, it's not just about a competition as much as we love it. It's also about the future of our great game. And it's my pleasure, of course, to introduce to the stage someone who doesn't really need it. Someone to herald the new era of Flesh and Blood. Someone who always reads every card. It's the one and the only Brian Gottlieb.
Okay, so it's not actually Uber doing the keynote. He's just
hello, everyone, and welcome
introing
to the
it.
2025 World Championships of Flesh and Blood.
Oh, speaking of which, we might be doing... Wait, where's my package? Hold on. I need to check Amazon real quick. I finally was able to snag some Final Fantasy boxes, and they're supposed to be here today, and I was going to crack those on stream at some point. Check my orders. Said arriving today on Amazon all day. Now it says arriving on the 25th. Okay. Thanks, Amazon. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to try building a master set of Final Fantasy at some point.
Historic weekend with all of you. I have to give thanks first to all of you for braving tough travel conditions, bad weather, whatever it took. It didn't matter. You guys were going to be here to celebrate with us.
Hey, Christian.
Thank you all so
Hey,
much.
Chris.
Beyond that, I want to thank my friends, and I call them friends truly, at Star City Games. I have been coming to this venue for over a decade to play Star City Games tournaments. They have such a historic legacy.
I don't know if I've ever been to this venue before.
So grateful. They're
I've been playing card games a long time.
To bring you the World Championships. Our premier OP team, Trevor, Tom, Nico,
it was a nice venue.
Without these folks, we could not do this. We could not travel the globe like this. All the folks back in Auckland watching right
a very
now,
well-run
so many
event.
People who are so instrumental in making Flesh and Blood happen that y'all don't get to see ever. But they deserve our thanks just as much. So many folks working hard. So you guys can have a great time this weekend. Our judges, they'll be here working all weekend. You know them well. Literally could not play this game without them.
YCS Philly was there? Okay.
For their contribution.
Jesus Christ. No, I wasn't on the YCS circuit back then.
How about my fellow casters this weekend? What an all-star crew we have put together for y'all at home. Of course, Pankaj Bhajwani, Sam O'Byrne, Mitch Leslie, Scott Mines making his debut on the big stage. Hell yeah, give it up for Scott. Absolutely.
Scott's suit was like so nice. He looked so good.
Without our dedicated production team, formerly Savage Feeds,
he
now
looked
part
clean
of
as hell.
Big shout out to Nathan, Ethan, and Xavier. Yeah. All right. I've given my thanks. I know why all of you are here right now. You haven't been very subtle about it. You want
Naughty,
to
that's
know
just not true at all. My
about
words are very sharp, and you've
about
definitely
set
been hurt by them before.
18 for Flesh and Blood. So without any further ado.
Is it your destiny? Your conviction? Power?
This is the new set they announced, I assume.
You are much more. Heroes are not born. They are wrought by time and tragedy. Your calling is your own, and your actions.
Wait, what do you mean
will
you got
shape
hustled?
Our destiny. To lead with conviction. To guide the flow of power.
Oh. Oh, what is this? Is that a weapon? What is this? Or maybe it's an Aurora card. It like looks almost illusionist, but it also looks kind of Aurora-y. Like the wispiness of the like the white stuff looks just like her hair. It's probably just the same artist.
Or be consumed by it.
I do not like her face in that image. Oh, I went too
Guide
far.
the flow of power. Or
That is an ugly face. My God. Look at like a man face.
be consumed by it. Your journey, thousands of moments. Moments of hope, moments of loss, moments of triumph. It is in these fleeting instants.
What do you mean? Ethan's
that
an
your
Acilio player now.
potential is revealed. A glimpse of greatness. You become
Is that Blaze? That's cool.
legend. Made eternal
Let's go!
in the compendium of Wraith.
Wait, what was that?
Compendium
Continue.
of Wraith.
Sinus is there. Gotta take some allergy meds.
Compendium of Wraith is the 18th set for Flesh and Blood. We're going to be kicking things off at World Premiere London starting February 6th through 8th. We'll head to stores later on in February. And I know after watching that trailer, y'all are asking one pretty obvious question. what the hell is Compendium of Wraith? You just saw some of your all-time favorites across that trailer, plenty of other sneak peeks of what to come. We're going to dive into some of the
The cost of the packs went up?
In
My
this set.
God.
It is
They
designed
already
from the
went
ground
up.
up
What do you
for
mean they went up
16
again?
For Silver Age, and it is the ultimate expansion set experience.
Is it on like the retailer FAQ or something? Looks like the packs are structured basically the same. My God. It's kind of crazy. Well, I mean, it's probably fine. Because when I saw this, I was basically saying this is just going to be Modern Masters, right? And sick hat. Modern Masters had a price jump, but the set was gas. If this set's gas, I think it's fine.
It is a return to expansion sets for the first time. For the first time since Dusk Till Dawn, which, by the way, up until Compendium of Wraith, is the best-selling Flesh and Blood set of all time. I know a lot of people.
Bro, do you actually care that it's like less commons per pack? Like, be real with me for a second. Do you actually care that it's got a few less commons and shit? I don't care. All that really matters to me is it good? I'm fine paying slightly more if it's good. I thought Modern Masters was a good set. Like, all of those sets back when I played Magic were fantastic. You got what you paid for. You got a lot of great staples. The packs were gas. It was an exciting experience opening the product as well, because you actually have things of fucking value in your packs. It's not just like, oh, great, another fucking chaff rare. There was exciting shit to open. If this is like a Modern Masters style product, I'm okay with that. Though it seems like this is probably more like a Modern Horizons thing because it's introducing new cards as well, not just like 100% reprints. But I think you guys understand what I'm getting at least. I'm fine with some premium products existing. So long as it's good. The product needs to be good. I don't think they've really had very many bad products recently. Of all of the things that I complain about in Fab, I don't think the quality of the product has been a complaint that I've had. All of my complaints have been like OP related and like availability of product, things like that, or like balance. The cards are good. They're very creative. If they continue that trend that they've been having, I'm fine with this being more expensive, so long as I'm still getting, you know, the proportionate value out of the box.
People don't know that. You may not believe that. I promise it's absolutely true right now. We're going to see in a few months if that remains true. Not only is Compendium of Wraith an expansion set, it is.
Oh, it's certainly a big
premium
list.
expansion
That's
set
going to be a
experience.
banger video.
We're talking loaded packs, a minimum of 3 rares.
Cookie
per pack.
time.
We are also talking about a cold foil drop rate of about 1 in 8 packs this go around. And some iconic reprints in this set. Maybe some of you out there with sharp eyes might already have some guesses as to what is appearing in this set. Balance of Justice and Shelter from the Storm appearing in booster packs in this set. But not only are they appearing in booster packs, they are appearing
Chips Ahoy, they're not that
in
good.
the brand new Antiquities pack,
Cookie cam.
one of which will be included in every single box of Compendium of Wraith. Not only does this Antiquities pack contain some of the most iconic reprints in Flesh and Blood history, it's going to do it with a new look. The all-new antiquities border.
Okay, what do you guys think about this border? I'm gonna leave this up for a while as we see like more of these borders. What do you guys think? Okay, what do you guys think about the border?
Featured in that antiquities pack. But do you know what's even better than some of the most iconic cards in Flesh and Blood history? Debatable, debatable. No, how about the most iconic cards in Flesh and Blood history?
Boy, I must have discarded an ally because I chummed when I saw this. I was so happy to see an eye reprint. I'm currently buying an eye because I fucking refuse to buy one for like $500. It's like such an unreasonable price for a card. Oh, I'm so happy that I can finally pick one of these up for like a reasonable price. I'm also, hopefully these come non-foil. I hate playing with foils. What was the quote? Oh, the chum one?
Y'all recognize that one by any chance? Eye of Ophidia, one of several fables showing up.
It's
in this
only
set.
non-foil?
As I mentioned, Pen was absolutely designed from the ground up for Silver Age. You've seen these Chapter 1 and 2 precons before. These will be dropping right alongside Compendium.
Okay, I'm really curious, like, what they're actually going to put in these to make them worth buying. Because we already had Blitz decks that were full of draft chaff. Are people really going to spend $10 on these? Are they even $10? I don't even know how much these are. I'm just like guessing they're $10. You know what? I'm probably wrong. They're probably more than $10. Let's just assume they're $10. Are you going to spend $10 on like a pile of commons? It's just like a laziness tax, right? It's $20. That's crazy. Like, it's nice that there's like I can just spend $20 on a theoretically ready to play deck. But you're spending $20 and then there's nothing that you can sell out of that, right? It comes with a pack? Okay. Okay. Probably should have come with 2 packs at that price, but okay. I think $10 and it comes with a pack. $20? That's a 2-packer for me. Yeah, it's got to have something else in it. Because, like, $20 for a pile of commons in 1 pack ain't it. It's just like, what else could be in there? Because it's all going to be draft chaff, right? So it has to be things that are exclusive game pieces to this. They could print new cards. That'd be one way to make this worth getting. If there's like, this is the only way you can get this card. Like we printed Sink Below 2 Electric Boogaloo in this product. Every deck comes with one.
And they're going to get a lot of play over the coming months. Silver Age is a huge part of what we're doing going forward. And I want to kind of lay out the schedule for Silver Age over the next few months. We're going to kick things off in the coming months with some early access events. Those are going to be going down Seattle, Valencia, Hong Kong, as well as maybe.
Have you guys been playing Silver Age? I haven't touched the format yet.
A little bit later today.
Do you guys like it?
Really exciting stuff.
Seems
there.
like most people actually like the border.
We know we're headed to London. We're also going to do it right in the local game store with release celebration events. And then as we head into March and beyond, Silver Age looks to take over your local game store and the world as it hits the world tour all the way up to and including.
Oh my God. I felt
Yokohama,
so vindicated. I was having a conversation with a couple friends about the format. And, you know, I know very little about the format other than, like, I saw what the ban list was, and I was just thinking about cards that were legal in the format, and they were all telling me like, oh yeah, like Ira and Bravo are really good. They're probably the best deck. No. Like they definitely are better than whatever you're talking about. And I was like, man, I don't know. These heroes suck ass. Like surely Runeblade is the best thing to be doing in the format based on the card pool. And then we see that tournament happen. And it was what? Ira was like 50, and then it was like Bravo was like 30. Hey, Kirk, what's up? And then 0 of them made top 8, and it was all chains. I felt so vindicated for that. I was like, yeah, I know how this game works.
Silver Age will be one of the formats played. It will be a CC. And
It's so
Silver
goofy
Age Pro
that
Tour.
all the D-reacts are banned, but Snatch is legal.
Now, I hate to break focus for a second, but I think this is important. I want to talk to the limited enjoyers in the crowd. This obviously represents two.
I want to talk to the limited enjoyers in the crowd. 4 people go woo. Oh, that's tough. let's get the instant replay on that.
And Silver Age Pro Tour. Now, I hate to break focus for a second, but I think this is important. I want to talk to the limited enjoyers in the crowd. This obviously represents.
it was like actually literally 4 people. That's so crazy. Oh my god, that's tough.
2 Pro Tours back to back where we.
Okay, I don't know what he's gonna say. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on limited things. I'm gonna go more into depth about this at some point. I actually talked to Mengucci about this, and he was down to like do like a podcast thing with me at some point talking about limited and fab. So like you're gonna get more of my thoughts then when I get around to making that video with him. But I think limited is an important cornerstone of the game that needs to exist. And my hope is that this gap year that we're having of no limited, I'm just saying gap year as like a phrase, that they're going to use that to kind of reevaluate things with limited and go back to the drawing board and try to like, okay, we got this wrong. How do we fix this? Let's come back stronger. Because it's not quite a promise, but it felt like a promise to the players of this is going to be your last bastion to play competitive draft, since Magic has kind of left people wanting for a while. I personally do not like the state of draft in Fab. I think the game mechanics and the set design don't lend itself to very good draft games or draft portions. The whole like I have to head down and pick a lane being the predominant strategy in most formats, I think speaks to the quality of the draft portion. And there's like a lot of reasons why that's the case. I'm trying to, not go that deep into it right now, just like giving my like just a high level thoughts on this. There are some benefits of this though. With them spending less time working on making the set draftable, that theoretically means that they then instead have more time and resources to put towards other aspects of card design in the game. So theoretically, the rest of the non-draftable sets should be higher quality, or it means the next draft set, like, are they reallocating those resources to the current sets or to the next draft set? We don't know. But theoretically, all of those resources are being reallocated somewhere, and we're going to see that. In theory, my confidence levels of things are at an all-time low, but
We won't be playing limited. And I understand the disappointment. So I want to take this opportunity to assure everyone LSS is just as committed to
it's also tough because, like, I think one of the other reasons that you want to make draft like a cornerstone of the game is because it helps sell packs. But it's so hard actually keeping the shelves stocked right now because of all the like logistical issues going on in the world, tariffs, and the whole just general state of the world right now. It's pretty hard actually keeping shit stocked, so they don't really have that need to sell packs. Like they're gonna sell themselves without them having to create a secondary reason to buy packs. So, you get that added benefit there also of like, whatever, we don't need to do that, so let's reallocate resources.
Limited, as we have always been. There are a host of some of my all-time favorite limited experiences in the pipeline right after this set. Limited will be returning to the next Pro Tour, which again, you're gonna learn a little bit more about in just a little bit, so stay put. Sage is gonna be a big part for a long time to come in Flesh and Blood. And I think for that reason, it's important that we keep things fresh when it comes to Silver Age. And I want to talk a little bit about how
if they wanted to make UPF fun, I'd play UPF.
Because Silver Age is going to have format rotation. And we have tapped
Oh my god, this is a
a
fucking
unique
joke.
group of players to go ahead and handle this for us. And I have to say, I was concerned when we first brought this idea up. This is a group that I've had a tumultuous history with. But as time has gone on, I've learned to respect, appreciate, and love their contributions to the game. And I think this is absolutely the right group to go ahead and carry Silver Age forward.
The Runaways.
It's all of you. It's all of you. We're going to do voting.
This is absolute nonsense. What are we doing? I'm so confused by this. It's just baffling. I don't think throwing it back, like, hey, you guys don't like how we're doing things? Fine, do it yourself. I don't think is the approach that you should be going for here. And I'm going to continue to quote this because it just speaks volumes. As Mark Rosewater would have said, players are great at identifying a problem. They are not good at identifying the solution. Players will point out, yeah, this format is broken for whatever reason, but don't give them the ability. Yeah, you can't see me. I'm like way over here, obviously. I think they always mean well. I think their intentions are always pure. But I think we have moved past the point of good intentions. Because the decision making has been pretty poor for the past year or so. And this continues to show that the decision making is pretty poor. Like, what do you mean the players are going to get to decide on card legality? Like, one of the biggest problems that I have with the Living Legends system is the fact that players are having direct control over card legality. And this is just taking that and cranking it up another notch. This is ridiculous. Also, I'm like really interested to see the logistics of this. Is it tied to your gem account? Like, how are we going about voting? I remember Vero was running around all weekend joking, being like, I'm buying gem accounts so I can vote more. True, they might vote based on what annoys them, but they might also vote just based on like what their favorite content creator says. I think that's going to be a pretty common take. Like, Timmy doesn't really know what's wrong other than the things that he's losing to, but his favorite podcaster is able to articulate it better than he ever could of why something isn't working. And then he goes, yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to vote for that. Which, like, that's fucking stupid. If that's what it is, Hamal, and it's the players, because that's not what it was described, I believe. I believe it was we vote on 2 heroes to rotate at a time or something like that. Was how it was pitched. we'll hear in a second because I think they're going to explain it some more. But if what you're saying is the intent of we just want to put a poll out there to see what the players think is a problem, I think that kind of speaks to a larger problem of general tone deafness, if that's what they need to do to get a pulse on like how players feel about a format. So I don't believe that's what it is. I think there's some level of tone deafness, but not to the point that they have to put a poll out to see what decks people think are cringe in a format. You don't think they'll post that publicly? I think they will. Why wouldn't they? They love posting those fucking graph things.
At the release,
I think content creator suggestions is perfectly fine. I think suggesting to them, like, hey, we're going to pull a poll out and say this is what we want, and giving the players a direct line of communication with the company is reasonable. But it shouldn't be the player said this just to do it. That should not be the case.
of future sets, we're not going to do it starting with Pen. In the future, we will hold a voting window. The top 3 vote getters will be excluded from the next Silver Age season, as well as 1 hero chosen by the developers. They will sit out 1 competitive season the first time they are voted out. The second time, they'll sit out 2 seasons. The third time, they'll sit out 3 seasons. So
what they're describing is not what you're saying, Hamal.
on and so forth. So we have an ever-churning, ever-evolving Silver Age metagame shaped by all of you. I'm so excited to see what y'all do with the format.
Okay, I'm stupid. What set is Pen? Is Pen the fucking Modern Masters set, or is that like whatever's after that we don't actually know about yet? And did I catch what he said correct? That we're not going to get a community ban list until after Pen? Did I hear him correctly on that? It's the London premiere. I thought the London premiere was this. No? Is it not? Okay, I'm getting mixed. Which is it? Is that set Pen, or is Pen some Fugazi set that we've never heard of? That would make sense. Compendium, I guess. Haha. Where's London? So we're not going to have any heroes banned before Pro Tour. Am I understanding that correct?
I'm going to blame you for everything that goes wrong. I can't wait. Cannot wait. We're going to kick things off for Silver Age in earnest.
Also, I love this art. This is so cool. I can't wait to get this as a playmat. Oh, there's Enigma. Oh, this is so cool.
The world premiere in London. We've already
I love the
gone
art
over
direction
dates.
of Fab.
What you haven't learned is what format you're playing at this world premiere. We are going to play Silver Age at the world premiere. It will be the chapter 1 and 2 pre-con decks that we use for the world premiere. But these are special versions of these pre-cons on offer only at this event. They will feature hot stamped heroes only available specifically at the world premiere. After that, we're going to do a calling, and it's going to be a Silver Age calling.
Stamped.
And Compendium of Wraith is going to be legal in that calling. What we're going to do is we're going to allow you to go ahead and add 1 or 2 boxes of Compendium of Wraith to your order.
I mean, putting the onus on us is still their fault. If we do a bad job, that's still their fault. I don't understand what this feels like the fucking boardroom meeting meme of just like a bunch of people saying a bunch of shitty ideas and the one guy with a good idea gets thrown out the window. And they picked one of the other ideas. And that seems to be like the decision making of so many things. I'm so confused at this being what they're going with. There's no universe that this is like what you should be doing for a competitive format. If it's for fun, like whatever. Like if this is just some cool community shit, some fun stuff, whatever. It's a community thing. Who cares? I'm down for that. But this is like a premier competitive format? What the fuck are we doing?
To your sign up for the world premiere, which by the way, those tickets are on sale right now. Beyond that, we'll also offer packs of Compendium of Wraith alongside all of our events.
Them doing a bad job with bans does not mean making an even worse decision about bans is good. Chopper.
It's on Friday. We are confident you'll be able to get the commons and rares you need to go ahead and play Silver Age at the
Well, I mean, I live in
level.
America. We don't believe in democracy
Saturday
here.
and Sunday at the Calling London. So excited to see how those first events shake out. Also showing up for the first time in London will be our brand new tournament pack. Some of you eagle-eyed readers maybe
This
saw
is
a
cool.
bit about
I like
this.
this.
I want to let you know exactly what it's offering. Some of the most iconic, common, and rare tournament staples throughout Flesh and Blood's history in beautiful, stunning treatments. These are essentially replacing our participation promos that we were previously giving out. And I think
Oh, that's a really interesting thought, Jim. I'd never considered that. You would think the thing that would get voted out would be like the best deck or the thing that everyone's hating on. But if it's the best deck, that might actually mean that the most people are playing that deck and people won't vote against their own self-interests. Huh. That's an interesting thought. Man, imagine something like that happens and it's like, let's say Gravy is the most popular deck in Classic Constructed. And all the Gravy players vote for Syndra. And then a bunch of people vote with them for Syndra. And then they get rid of their only counter. That'd be kind of fucked up. That probably wouldn't happen because it's the top 3 most voted, not the top 1. But still, that's kind of interesting to think about of something like that happening.
y'all are going to be really happy to add these to your collection, to your Silver Age decks, to your CC decks. Just stunning, stunning cards. These packs are going to be available all throughout the World Tour. And yes, folks, the rumors are true. $2 million up for grabs next year on the World Tour at 36 different events around the world. And I want to make a promise to you here right now. If we keep working together to grow this great game, to go ahead and enable this lifestyle that we've all embraced and enjoyed, and we keep finding success, we're going to come and share that with the World Tour. The World Tour will keep expanding as long as y'all are helping us grow. As long as we're finding success.
I'm going to be honest. I love to see the prize pool expanding and the game growing. I'm going to keep it like 1000% with you. I would rather the prize pool stay the same and they just reinvested that money in the company and into their like staffing and all sorts of different things like that. And that I'm saying that as someone that like legitimately is playing for this money. Like it's not like I'm just some Timmy that's like going to these events and like it doesn't matter to me. I'm never seeing this money anyways. Like I'm legitimately playing for this money. Porque lo nos dos? Because clearly they're spending too many plates. I want them to bring on more talent to deal with all the problems that the game has been having over the past year. I would rather they stop reinvesting in the money of competitive play and just said, put out the fires. And then, okay, now, you know, we all the fires are out. We're in a flow now, and we're not having these constant issues. I mean, creator grant money is. I'm definitely not playing for that. I'm never getting that money.
The World Tour finds success as well. speaking of the World Tour, let's find out where we're going in the first half of 2026.
You can't get grant money when you're too honest. Ooh. I can't do it. I can't. Self-control. I can't go to Japan twice in a year. Ooh, Montreal. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna... What is this? Is this a calling? Okay, I'm gonna actually try going to that. Is there a thing up for it? When is it? February? Why did it just jump me to the top when I clicked on that? Where's my calendar app? Nope, that's Genshin Impact. Or not Genshin Impact, fucking Honkai Star Rail. Up. Let's see, what is this? February 27 to March 1st. Okay, I'm gonna try going to this one. It jumps up, there's no info. That makes sense. Can one of those events change their days? My birthday. Unlucky. When will I start playing Sage? Probably soon. I'm taking like a little bit of a break from playing Fab after Worlds. Not as big as the last couple times I've had. Okay, this is actually kind of interesting. This is what, Worlds 4, right? Every Worlds prior to this, I had omega burnout of Fab afterwards, and I took like 2 months off from like even looking at the game. I think 3 months once. After Japan last time, I just like completely fucked off from doing Fab stuff for the longest time. I was so burnt out on Fab. This time I'm weirdly not burnt out. I don't know why. I don't know what changed. The only thing that I can think of that changed is the fact that I was banned from playing ProQuest for 2 weeks, so I physically played less Fab. But that's not true. I actually played a ton of Fab on... I think I played more Fab because of that than I normally would have. Because I like went out of my way to like schedule a ton of Fab with my teammates and shit. Yeah, LL was pretty fun. But yeah, I didn't burn out this time, so I'm actually like, I'm still down to do Fab stuff, but I do need a break. I need like a week or two break, and I'm just gonna focus on content and shit. Like you guys saw, I posted my Draw My Deck profile today. I have my Gravy one uploaded. I need to make a title for it, and then I'll have that probably out tomorrow. Hey Smurf, what's up? So I'll probably start looking at Silver Age like in 2 weeks or something like that. I want to catch up on content. I have time now to work on the Gravy Guide. I'm like 90% done with it. I just need to proofread it and like check for like typos and shit. And then that'll be done. And then I got some like coaching stuff I got to catch up on. But yeah, I'll probably be looking at Silver Age soon. If you guys want, I can like throw up some preliminary lists on the Patreon of like what I'm kind of looking at in the format. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in. If you guys are, just let me know. Where's this place? Where in the world of Carmen Sandiego is this place? Toulouse? Toulouse? Is this like French or something? Yep, it's in France. I'm really looking forward to the next time that we get to go back to Lille. I think Lille was one of my favorite places I've traveled to. Shanghai? a minute. Wait a gosh darn second. Was there a flag ceremony this year? I don't remember seeing a flag ceremony. Anyways. Union? What does that mean? Okay, I gotta add this to my calendar. July 16 to 19.
That is right, folks. We are headed back to Las Vegas. All of my American friends have been to Las Vegas with me before. We've done a few national championships. And I am actually shocked by the amount of fun I have every single
They
time
said
I
you
go to Las
had
Vegas.
to have
I think
a
I hate
union
Las
person
Vegas,
for
but
each
something about
flag,
a Flesh and Blood tournament there
and it was
just really
800
hits different.
per.
And I'm so happy all of our international fans will finally be able to find me at a
I don't
blackjack
I
table
still
at
don't
3 in
even
the
know what
morning
you're
trying
saying.
desperately to get even.
What do you mean you need a union person per?
I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You called
Like a
me this year
representative from
at
that country?
Nationals.
I don't.
Las
I'm
Vegas
so
is gonna be a
confused.
blast, folks. I hope you all make the trip out and join us. Incredible offerings on the World Tour stage in the coming year. But of course, local play, such a huge part of what we do as well. And man, is local play absolutely booming now. I just want to take a moment to share some stats with you from ProQuest Yokohama, because we destroyed about every record we've ever had as a company. The most unique attendees for a ProQuest season.
I just don't understand what the place being
attendees
union
for a
has to do with
ProQuest season,
flags.
the most total attendees.
Because
for a
isn't it the
ProQuest season. The
players
least
that do the flags?
week-to-week drop-off we have ever seen for a ProQuest season. People showed up and were ready to play this season. So thank you to all of you who showed up at your local game store. Truly, truly appreciate it.
Ooh, locals.
Local play at the start of 2026 is going to be so exciting. We're kicking.
Ooh, I gotta
things
add this to my calendar too. Okay, so skirmish season, I sleep. Let's see. Change my calendar back to month. How do I like check which month I'm on? Road to Nationals. January 3 to February 1st. ProQuests and wait, really? That's a really small gap. Have we ever had that before? There's like a 3-week gap in between ProQuest and Road to Nationals. And then a 1-week gap in between. Oh, I guess that one makes sense. Oh, they broke up the season in half for this. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, hold on. Okay. February 21 to March 1st. Silver Age ProQuest. And then March 7 to 22nd, CC ProQuest. And then skirmish, once again, I sleep. So does that mean that I can get banned from playing events twice this season? I'm really curious to see if they keep that system around.
Off the end of this year with our last Blitz skirmish season, and I want to let you know when
what does that mean for the rest of the year? Are we just going to have one ProQuest season and then that's it for the rest of the year? Because by March, we're done with Road to Nationals and ProQuest. That's just like a couple months. That's what, 3 months into the year, right? Yeah, 3 months into the year, and that's 2 of our things done. Are they going to add another type of thing for us to play during the year? The spacing of this is kind of odd, where it's like, are they adding another thing during the year?
I get back to Auckland, I'm going to sit James down. He and I are going to get in front of the camera for you. We're going to talk a little bit more about the future of Flesh and Blood formats. We'll talk a little bit more about exactly what's going on with Blitz. Then we head to Road to National season, starting early this year, at the beginning of the year. And then it's a split ProQuest season for Las Vegas. We're going to play 2 weeks of Silver Age ProQuests. As we said, an important part of all levels of the World Tour before we head into a 3-week CC season as well for ProQuest Las Vegas. And then we head to season 14 of Skirmish, where we offer Silver Age one more time. We're set up for such an exciting 2026.
More ability to play Fab. I'm happy with that.
And honestly, I haven't even told you about all the products we have on offer yet. Who is ready for a look at the next Armory deck?
I want more ability to play the game locally.
Series.
ProQuests and RTNs are legitimately my favorite time to play
I have
Fab.
held many titles in my life, traversed the tides of war. My art honed to perfection, a paragon to those who take up the sword. But when the light dims and my creed calls, I have no need for titles, for I speak in steel, and my word is final. I speak in steel, and my word.
Pay 3, tap, sharpen target sword you control, go again. Put a +1 counter on it, remove all counters at the end of the turn. Okay. I'm going to assume there's a lot of stuff that references sharpening because that hero power kind of sucks ass. Pay 3 to get +1. Maybe if you're swinging multiple times with the same weapon, that's good in a turn.
Is final.
I think the thing also with Skirmish, like, I don't give a shit about Skirmish, but part of that is, like, a self-fulfilling thing. They're so low stakes that people just don't care when they go, so they just don't feel very competitive. And then a lot of people just physically don't go. Like, the skirmishes that are in my area are typically pretty small. So I'm like, man, I don't want to go to a skirmish for fucking, like, an 8-person event. I just don't care. I'd rather just stay home. And then, like, half my friends aren't going anyways, so it's not even like I'm going to hang out.
Armory deck. I got to do it at least once. Holla! Showing up in stores April 17th, 2026. One there for all the Warrior stands out there. Yeah, let's hear it, Warriors. And how about we take a look at the rest of the roadmap for 2026. We're going to start by rounding off 2025 with a couple more Armory decks. Rhino goes on sale tomorrow. Then we get...
I mean, skirmishes aren't, like, inherently outdated for any particular reason. It's just... There's no invite. There's no money behind it. So people are, like, just kind of play for fun. Which is fine. I think having events like that are important for the ecosystem of the game. If you have everything being a spiky event, I don't think that's very good for the game. I think you're going to push a lot of people out. You need that kind of outlet for people to go and play in those events. And go, okay, I know that all the spikes aren't going to go to this. I can actually go and, like, have a good time and play my fun deck. But, you know, it's not for me. What I really wish they would do is make some more, like, weird one-off events. You guys remember the Farewell to Wraith event? That was so fun. I really enjoyed that. Just some more events that are, like, weird and novel. I would enjoy if they would do that. Because I'm not just, like, I'm not strictly a spike. But it's very... I find it hard to engage with Fab in a non-spiky way, because I don't think this game lends itself very well to being, like, a fun casual game. So, like, when I go try to just, like, have fun playing Fab, I can't. There's not enough ways to be, like, a Johnny deck builder in this game to, like, scratch that itch. There's not enough, like, cool, wacky things that you can do. And there's no good social formats in the game, like Commander. So I just have a really hard time engaging with the game in that way. So I'd love if they developed that space some more, Because I like ways to engage with the game that aren't just spiky, but what? Because Skirmish is still a tournament at the end of the day. So it's a non-spiky tournament that it's not fun to have fun at for me, but it's not worth being spiky at. So it just feels like a waste of my time in both directions. I'm not having fun and I'm not getting EV, you know what I mean?
Slippy coming out at the end of the year. And Assassins, we've been suffering for too long. We deserve some good cards for once. Armory deck Slippy finally coming through. Finally, after so much suffering. Then quarter one, we're going to go ahead and drop Compendium of Wraith. We already talked about those chapter 1 and 2 decks that we saw. Quarter 2, though, brings with it set 19. It brings with it Armory deck Hollow.
Ooh, regionals
more
would be cool.
Armory decks. And chapter
That'd be kind of like the AGE East and AGE West thing that we did.
3 of the Silver Age pre-con
That'd be
decks.
sick.
Some
I'd love that.
exciting inclusion in chapter 3. Q3, we go big. It's time for set 20, a landmark set in the history of Flesh and Blood, designed by my good friend, Mr. TCG, Chris Gehring. So excited to share that set with y'all. And keen-eyed viewers out there might be spotting not 1, but 2 Mastery Packs as we round out the year. And I want to tell you, new and improved Mastery Packs, folks. I promise you that. We have learned a lot of lessons from Mastery Pack Guardian, and I'm really excited for what these 2 Mastery Packs offer you.
They need to stop making sets that are just one class. If both of these Mastery Packs are one class sets again, they need to hire better people for making the decisions there. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, we need to hire new people. People don't want... Consumers aren't going to purchase monoclass sets. You're catering to the smallest denominator of the community. No, just make them fucking like Modern Masters, where it caters to everyone. Like, the Compendium, I'm really hoping that's basically just, what if we just took the expansion slot but made that an entire set? That's cool. Do that. Now everyone has a reason to buy into the product. When you say, like, 7% of your community can actually buy into this product, you're designing a product that is going to fail before it hits shelves. Unless it's like the most desired class in the game, and then that's just like you're printing something into a temporary demand, so it's not going to have longevity. If it was Mastery Pack Illusionist, I would still say the same thing. This isn't me saying that, like, oh, it wasn't for me. If it was Mastery Pack Illusionist, it would change nothing for me. I would still buy it because I buy like 40 boxes of every set. But I'm not like most consumers of the game. I'm speaking for like how I observe other people consume this game.
For you down the stretch of the year. So much more to come throughout 2026.
Or at least fill it with a lot of
products.
generics. Like, if you make it a Mastery Pack class, talent, whatever, but then fill out like half the set with splashable cards, like generics, then, okay, people have a reason to buy this potentially. But that also sounds shitty.
More to come this weekend. I'm so thankful once again, all of you, for joining us here for the keynote. We're going to have an incredible 2025 World Championships. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
That is also a problem. They definitely should have supported the other Guardians in that set. But I think if you made that Mastery Pack all Guardians, it still would have been a shitty product. It's Bright Light. Like, Bright Lights supported all the mechs. It was still a shitty product. Turns out, not everyone plays mech. If that set didn't have an expansion slot, it would have been, like, Omega dead.
champion, excuse me, world champion, even bigger stakes. He's got a national championship too. He's got so many titles, I can't keep him straight anymore, Ponkage. He's going after the world championship this weekend. He's ready down in the future.
I caught up with Michael at one point during the event to just like talk about what we were playing and how we were doing at one point. And I was like, wait, you're playing Syndra? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that doesn't sound like a deck that you would normally play. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, this is just not a deck that plays to any of your strengths as a player. You excel at decks that grind games out and force both players to make lots of decisions and force players to navigate difficult endgames. And are typically playing kind of a tricky deck. I don't think playing an aggro deck plays to any of his strengths. I think like you should know how to play everything, but there were decks in this format that played to his strengths specifically. I think Mario is the deck that he should have played based on like his skills as a player.
Taking on Jared Weiss on Kasai. What a monumental challenge for Jared.
I think Mario plays to his strengths better than Verdance, but Verdance also does. Playback speed 1.5. Boom.
As he sits down here in our future match area.
It cannot be easy to show up for your first round of the World Championships playing against the first ever player to do that in the form of Michael Hamilton. Let's see if Jared Weiss has what it takes to take down the ex-world champion. Starting off here with an Unsheathed over here is Jared Weiss. Has perhaps chosen to go first, sending in 5 with a Centauri Saber with go again, of course, thanks to the Unsheathed. Now, this can offer a little bit of awkwardness on the Syndra's side, mostly as attacks to block with. Thankfully for Michael Hamilton, has 2-3 blocks that are both attacks.
Oh, that's pretty fortunate.
Fully. Let's see if we can do the same for the second one.
Yeah, second Saber attack here. Hamilton doesn't want to expose himself to any risk, so just goes ahead and commits the full grip here, trying to...
And that hand blocked so well.
Sellsword from joining the fray.
So I believe there's an in the swing in Jared Weiss's hand. Could go ahead and leak one more should he choose. So it looks like he's going to park that in the arsenal. And this is the way you want to attack turn 0. If you're going to attack turn 0, you make sure you take all the cards from your opponent because you don't want to let them effectively mulligan their hand and just discard the cards they don't want to keep.
Are the bonus games on stream? Like, are they in the same video?
That opening hand. You take all 4 from them, you just give them a full, fresh 4-card hand, and here you see Michael Hamilton. Perhaps
Ooh,
not
pitch
the
red,
greatest
that's
start,
tough.
starting with the kunai.
Yeah, on his turn 1 here, so not a huge burden to go ahead and produce massive output on turn 1, but goes ahead and pushes in that kunai as the starting salvo of what's sure to be an expansive combat chain. We'll see many expansive combat chains from Syndra throughout the weekend.
I'll tell you what. If you guys have any games from that article you think we should watch, and I'll just commentate it myself, you know, like that's what I'm here for. If there's any that you think are worth watching, just send me the link and we'll watch it. But that won't be tonight because we got plenty to watch, and I'm probably only going to stream for like another hour or 2.
Starting with the kunai over here, has a whole bunch of attacks in his hand that require a draconic chain link already. So the hot and the heels headed to the pit zone. Kunai attacking for 1 is a tempting dynamo block over here, but this is the sort of question that Syndra asks you. If you use dynamo here and say a full power attack comes later, now you really wish you had dynamo for that.
Jared instead going to go ahead and use the shelter from the storm here, get that prevention shield floating. 2 more instances of prevention on tap for Jared. So Hamilton fires off here with the Burning Blade Dance.
So that insulates.
I do not like how he's like covering it like that.
Which means Syndra doesn't get to continue the chain.
Your chain's not going to go that wide that you need to do that.
But oh my god, Brian, he has chosen to bring Mask of the Pouncing Lynx for this matchup instead. Completely.
Ooh, Lynx.
Mask momentum, but Michael Hamilton
kind of spicy.
A little bit more of a combo-y game plan, not conflict.
I think that kind of makes sense though. Like you kind of know into Kasai that you're probably not going to get that many or any mask triggers, so probably makes sense to just say, you know what, I'm just going to make sure that my helmet converts into like 5-6 value.
That he'll be able to get mask momentum triggers into a defensively slanted hero like Kasai.
Display loyalty is the push here. That's going to go ahead and get that fealty. Important for unbricking hands in the future for Hamilton.
Gravy versus Gravy, we'll definitely watch that.
And immediately goes to the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. So what this tells me, Ponkage, is that Hamilton just says, I need to take every point of damage I possibly can as fast as I can. And just
it's a really aggressive mask.
You want to get your opponent into Flick Knives range as soon as possible. Once the opponent's under 5-ish life, every activation of Flick Knives just shortens.
I wonder if he's playing Tenacity and stuff like that.
Because that's how wide they go. So Michael Hamilton here cashing in the Mask of Pouncing Lynx on the first ever hit he's gotten this game over here. This is just his first real turn of the game, and already it's explosive.
This is going to ask a question to Jared. How much do you value that hand? Or are you willing to go ahead and let some damage happen? And it's not going to only be that lava burst. We're going to go ahead and fire off additional damage on this turn. 4 more headed the way of Jared.
We speak about iteration of Decklist.
I'm really surprised that Jared sheltered There's no Mask of Momentum. Surely this card is better trying to get 4 on defense than 3, right?
About unique tech. And here we have March of Loyalty showing up in Michael Hamilton's Syndra list over here. Does have Go Again thanks to the fealty generated from the display loyalty coming in for Go Again. I think what Michael Hamilton has realized about this matchup is that he does not want it to go long. The longer it goes, the more Valen Dynamo value the Kasai player gets. So if you put a pressure like this, if you take the entire hand, that Dynamos isn't going to be refreshed on Jared's turn. And that means Michael Hamilton instead
All
gets
that
to
for a drop of
continuously lead
blood.
throughout the game in the form of Flick Knife. So he wants his 1 point of value every turn while denying the opponent their 1 point of value every turn in their equipment in form of those Valen Dynamos.
Yeah, and it started off on the right foot for achieving that. We know those.
That felt like a really aggressive mask.
Nothing from Jared. Turn just passes back to Michael. Michael now has to play a 4-card hand without any headpiece. Does have a fealty ready this go around.
I'm really curious to find out if he has like
talk about the Kabuto of Imperial Authority on the Kasai side.
tenacity or
Wrath of Retribution.
what's the other one?
You can expect this game to go to 7,
Salt
8,
and Wound.
maybe even longer than that, which means it's plenty of time for the Syndra to find the Wrath of Retribution. This headpiece insulates you from that very important card on the Syndra side, which is a one-off and it is incredibly explosive. And for that reason, I'm actually curious whether Michael Hamilton even brought the Wrath of Retribution in, because often against a warrior that has access to Kabuto,
Yeah, that makes sense to side that out.
Because if they present Kabuto, you effectively have a really bad head jab in your deck.
I feel like Michael's already lost the game.
Ravenous Rabble kicks things off 4-4. No blocks from Jared.
Like he burned his hat for
And that is
leaking
one of the
4
benefits of not
damage.
presenting mask momentum. Now the other side just gets to play numbers. You effectively don't have any more on hits. Maybe Michael Hamilton is running something like a breaking point. Maybe there's some mark on hits.
Like I don't think he can ever win from the spot.
There's no more real threatening on hits on the
Can't
side.
see life totals.
He did get a free
Oh, no.
damage from it.
Hold on.
Let's see whether that's enough to overcome the numbers that Kasai can present.
Well, Hamilton surely knows things shift in that direction once you've cashed in here. He must believe he's favored in the numbers game. And if you ask me what player in the history of Flesh and Blood do you not want to play a numbers game against, it is Michael Hamilton. I promise you he has done the math here and believe that the setup he has now put to the test is one in which he is favored.
Speaking of numbers, I mean, that was 3 card 12 over there. 2 4 power attacks, 1 3 power attack, and a Flick Knives activation as well. 12 damage off of 3 cards. I mean, that is scar for scar into Wounded Bull if I've ever heard of that. The play that made Michael Hamilton famous to begin with in that Iceland attack.
Jared's opportunity to go ahead and get on the board here. Not only a slice and dice, but a Kasai activation going to kick
There we
off
go.
the turn. Jared
Sorry
looking
about
to get
that.
A few pieces of gold across this turn. Centauri Saber is the first salvo here.
And this is the value that Kasai gets to present over here. If you can't stop her gold generation, then she gets her version of Mask Momentum, so to speak, where you pitch a card into your gold, you draw a card, and now your sabers are free as well. So you go up 1 card every time you pop a gold token on the Kasai side, and that can overwhelm the Syndra.
So, like, what does Hamilton
That
need
does
to
not
do
have
to
Mask
win this
Momentum on
game?
their own for the card advantage. Another benefit for Kasai.
I think he needs
is
Jared to be willing to trade
Jared
damage with him to win this game.
Saber plus Hot Streak has chosen for 2 sabers. Hamilton needs to block out both of these sabers to prevent this gold. That is not easy for Syndra to do because they block with attacks, and that will mean the sabers get +1.
And
Taking a check.
we basically never brick on the Syndra side.
Options are available for Jared to
I think
defend
every
this
time we end up
turn, make
pitching
sure
to
those diamonds get
Dagger,
clear. How does he have to defend? Warriors, they try to put you to the test every turn. Make the
then
right
we
decision.
throw away any lead that we
Currently,
have.
Saber does not have go again. Very important to note that. So Michael Hamilton
And
needs to
we
play
probably
around
need to resolve,
with Quicksilver.
like,
You don't want to give the opponent that
maybe
sort
like
of
3
value.
1 costs
Of course,
off of our
this is
chest
value
for max
in
value.
advantage. Should he not defend? Gold generated for Kasai.
So we need like 2 more fealty
One thing
tokens.
that this one floating represents is that it is very likely that Jared's go against source in hand is a 0 cost. So probably something like the Glint the Quicksilver. Could also be a Blood Follows Blade, but if it's Blood Follows Blade, you don't have the resources to attack with the Sellsword and the remaining saber.
Hamilton
Oh, it
invests in denying, but it is just going to be the Blood Follows Blade here.
Should be coming in for 4, I believe, thanks to the yellow slice and dice that was played earlier this turn. See if the players catch it. Yes, they do. Thank you, Jared. It is coming in for 4, still threatening that gold on hit. Remember, the Kasai hero ability is active for the entire turn. Basically requires Michael Hamilton to block with 2 cards if he wants to deny this, unless he's running some defense reactions.
Hamilton got that first block right for sure. Ponkage lined up perfectly with the Blood Follows Blade. You mentioned the vulnerability to Glint the Quicksilver. Made the right read.
I don't think you can ever get a
Here does Hamilton.
a
It's gonna
Wrath
yield
turn.
Big dividends for Jared Weiss. Not only picking up a gold token, but the Dynamos should be refreshed.
I wouldn't be
as
surprised
well.
if it's not in the deck.
And we're starting
Yeah.
to see how Kasai can combat Syndra.
He might have
Value
just
gain.
boarded that card out.
Almost 1-for-1 trading for the Flick Knives value that Syndra generates over the course of the game, but that gold, Brian, going to offer quite a bit of card advantage for Jared. Should he be able to continue that train going?
I don't know how you board for this matchup normally
Now paying the
on
backside.
the
Feel a
Syndra
bit
side,
weaker
but
when
it would
you're
make
doing
sense
something
to
with
not
massive
play that
amounts of
potentially.
points. Very easy
Maybe
block
you
for
probably still
Jared.
put it in the deck though,
Hamilton looking for
because
one more
maybe
card.
they don't have that helmet.
Of pain in the backside when when the Syndra presents Mask of Momentum is that you don't want to block early in the chain because you want to block on chain links 3 and 4. But without Mask of Momentum, you're pretty happy to just put 3 blocks in front of this. And as a warrior, as a Kasai, you have plenty of those in your deck.
Thus far, I feel like Jared has known the pace of this matchup very well. Doesn't appear
It's a
to be
good
bad
card.
playing against
I don't know what you're
Michael
asking beyond. Do I think it's good or bad as a card?
You choose Kasai for
It's
the
good.
tournament, Ponkage. Surely you think you have game into Syndra. You have a plan into Syndra. You just can't bring a deck where you're not ready to compete against Syndra.
We speak about value a little bit. This time for Michael Hamilton, a little bit lower on the value side of things. Excuse me, this is 3-card 9, no flick knives because there's a lack of draconic chain links over here. So we won't be able to buy back the dagger, and you don't really want to go to 0 daggers. That opens you up to bricking. So here we see, yep, no flick knives activation over here. Wants to keep the 1 kunai, 3-card 9.
The other way that you might win is by connecting with some snatches.
Kicks things off with a draw swords here. Going to get a refresh on card in hand, but also the Kasai ability turned on. Centauri Sabers costing 1 less for this turn cycle and getting a little bigger.
That was a fresh draw off the top. He needs that to be a go-again source. Because looking at that hand that he had, I think it was lacking a go-again source. So Swenhead did the draw swords. Did he find something like a glint? Oh, Bloodfall.
I mean, he doesn't need a go-again source. He could just swing 5, Arsenal pass.
You kind of just fire that anytime it's available for the most part. So it's not super telling. I think he probably committed to activating Kasai on this turn cycle no matter what. But it is going to be successful here. Going to get a hit in, meaning we will pick up an additional gold for Jared.
You think the helmet's a design mistake? Why?
Second gold piece over here. A lot of players have been calling Kasai the original pirate, if you will. 2 gold pieces to speak of already here for Jared Wise.
Hopefully.
Hamilton looking to play a slightly bigger hand this go around. No Valiant Dynamo refresh on the last cycle for Weiss.
4 go again. Name of the game for Michael Hamilton. Also important to note, no Valiant Dynamo refresh for Jared Wise on that previous turn. It was just a draw sword into Saber, create a gold. Still represents quite a bit of value.
Yeah, that is kind of annoying having attacks, but
those Dynamo
whatever.
Extra hit point.
Jared's going to take damage one more time, falls down to 25. Ponkage, your life total always lower than it feels against a Syndra because of those flick knives. You really do want to keep some healthy padding as you head into the late game. Otherwise, your decisions start getting forced. And that's the worst spot to be in against an aggro deck in Flesh and Blood. You cannot let them dictate what you have to do on a turn-by-turn basis. That way lies death. You want to retain control, be able to go ahead and assert your Centauri Sabers on the game when it makes sense for you to do so. If they get to tell you when you get to attack, you're in desperate straits.
I love the Fate Foreseen over here from the Kasai side. There's only so many defense reactions you can play. Sink Below, Shelter from the Storm. We've already seen one of the shelters. I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Wise has opted for Fate Foreseen instead of Sink Below because of how powerful opting is in this deck. That gold token is going to draw what you see off the top. If you need that opt to be a gold,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jared is just on 9 4 blocks.
Hamilton looks to throw dagger here, gets an additional point of value, also picks up a fresh draw here, and that means the action will continue. It's going to continue with a cut through here. 0 for 4s all over the place from Hamilton, getting massive output and showing why Syndra is perhaps the top deck in the metagame right now. These are big time numbers, Ponkage.
Now this is a turn cycle to be a proud of. Every card so far has been a 4 except for
okay, this is a really good turn.
Now coming in for 5 and is the third draconic chain link that he needed to activate Syndra and buy back both the kunais, which are both.
So maybe the way that we win here is that we go play a 3-card hand, play a 5-card hand, play a 3-card hand, play a 5-card hand. So we guarantee that we leak damage on the 5-card hands.
Trying to get him into that squeeze space where Hamilton will get to dictate the rest of this game to Jared.
That was 23 damage. 4 4-power attacks, 1 5-power attack, and a throw dagger plus a flick knives. That was so much damage from just the random 4 cards.
On 6 what?
Michael Hamilton still sitting on a fealty token, still has 1 kunai up right now. Blood spattered.
Oh, this is you?
On it so far. He is firmly in the driver's seat. Let's see what Jared Wise has to say about that.
Nourishing Emptiness, a nice way to get back into the mix here. Going to offer 6, dominate the way of Hamilton. Of course, that powerful on hit as well. Going to get Jared some extra defensive options on the next turn cycle and still allow him to hopefully refresh those dynamos because that's what he's really got to do to go ahead and get back into this game. Be able to defend equally, not get into the danger zone, keep those dynamos up, and then when he finds the big spike turn, convert hard. The window is closing rapidly for Jared.
I was just going to bring up those dynamos.
Nourishing is pretty tough to see
of course, very, very strong play.
for Hamilton.
Another turn cycle gone by where his dynamos still have the -1 counter.
Are still 2 gold on the side of Kasai. If you want to take stock of what you're rooting for on the Kasai side, there's still good resources available.
Time is running out, though. You have those gold tokens, but you don't want to be ending the game with gold on the field. That's just value that you
maybe Hamilton's actually going to win this game.
Space to go ahead and activate those gold tokens. Actually put some pressure back onto Michael Hamilton. This is a good start. Going to draw 5 cards.
He got a lot of damage in. Might be able to close from here.
As well. He just has 3 cards now to work with. Going to be a bit of a smaller offense on his side. Can Jared Wise make his way back into this game out of this opening?
Strong defensive options here from Jared.
Michael is so OP.
Has a blue, has a go again. Sharpened senses here, depending on what that Arsenal card is, we know that is not a go again source. That was
I was almost named Michael.
Into the Arsenal. It's been sitting there this entire
they misplayed.
We can tell it's not a 0-card go again at least. Oh,
Warmongers.
Hamilton, it's a Warmongers diplomacy coming
in.
This could be backbreaking for Jared Wise. A lot of the Warrior Go again these days is actually from non-attack actions. Stuff like Unsheath that we already saw. They also want to play stuff like Draw.
That's spicy.
Jared needs to have a go again in the form of an attack reaction over here to have a good turn, but thankfully for him, he does have it in the form of the Bloodfaller's Blade. Still can form a decent turn with this hand. Definitely stumbled a little bit from the Warmongers diplomacy from Michael Hamilton over here. But
never lucky.
Fully stymied.
Yeah, I think a bigger problem for Jared is you're fully into IP territory. You'd really love to go ahead and park that shelter in Arsenal, but
Sick Nourishing. Hold those cards.
One nice thing about Greens of Arsenal, which is one of my favorite designs in Flesh and Blood, especially for the warrior class, is to solve that IP problem they're talking about, Brian. When these swords hit, you can...
Oh, never mind.
Turn, but looks like Jared Wise might be able to park that Shell from the Storm into Arsenal because he's got a Blade Flurry here.
Sick bozo. Or sick warmongers, bozo. Man, I can't talk.
Oh. Nowhere near over from Jared, has actually escaped this Warmonger's diplomacy very well.
And normally having an ally on the board against a Syndra can be incredibly tough because they usually have Mask of Momentum and they could leverage the ally to guarantee that on hit. But Michael Hamilton brought in Mask of the Pouncing Link, so this Centauri Sellsword is just going to soak up some damage from Michael Hamilton's side, or it's going to confer additional value turn after
All right,
turn.
WinCon assembled.
We already see a Vigor token being
Hamilton discards a card into us converting our hand.
Which he couldn't deploy because of Warmonger's diplomacy, able to convert them for Vigor tokens. Jared Wise, I think, found that opening from the Nourishing Emptiness. We are starting to see a comeback from the Kasai.
Perfect response to this Warmonger's diplomacy turn. Getting out the second Saber attack as well. Going to be buffed by that Blade Flurry from earlier in the combat chain. And the Dynamos are going to refresh. And Shelter from the Storm parked in Arsenal for Jared to take care of Hamilton's next offensive outburst.
And still has one more.
Why no Brave Forge there? Is the card in your hand a draw effect or something? Oh, Warmongers is a pretty good reason.
Floating right now, which will promise another Grains of Blood spell trigger. Should this hit, it looks like it is going to hit. And moving into your next turn with 2 Vigor tokens.
True.
Incredibly strong for
True.
Kasai, thanks to that gold. That means that activate the gold token. Your Sabers are now free. This leaves him, it allows him to block a little bit more on the following turn and still have an incredible offense. Still has a Shelter in the Storm in the Arsenal as well. That Warmonger's diplomacy was effectively 3 life lost from Michael Hamilton.
Yeah, just
Oh, that. I don't know if you guys saw that lean back from Hamilton. That was the fuck that Warmongers needed to be better.
Particular cycle, Jared had exactly what he needed at the right moment. Hamilton's got to get back on the offensive foot here. Kicks things off with an Oath of Loyalty. Good 0 for starter. We know Jared has good blocks lined up in the form of Shelter. And as you mentioned, Punkage, not really all those many on hits to deal with at this point. Might just want to go ahead and get the 4 defensive value while he can, should Hamilton have a handful of head jabs.
Looking at this board state from Jared Weiss's side, I have to give the edge firmly to him. Just 1 turn cycle ago.
Sure, but he's thinking, man, I had a life buffer here. And I just lost that life buffer. I just like played a Warmongers for 0, essentially. I just like discarded a card. This is like the lead slipping away type of moment for him. So he's like, fuck. Because I think he was actually in the lead last turn when he played his 5-card hand. And then he kind of just did nothing on a turn and threw his lead. Like, you went Nourishing into convert a 4-card hand through a Warmongers. So you went plus a card from the Nourishing, and he went minus a card on the Warmongers. So there's just like a 6-point swing there for free. Oh, the bracers thing. I'm curious why you would value the second Vigor there. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm genuinely interested in what the decision making of like why that would be. Because in my mind, I would think that I wouldn't care about getting the second Vigor unless that I knew my arsenal paired well with me getting a second resource. It's an extra card off of gold. I guess that's fair. I guess it's reasonable.
Michael Hamilton firmly on the front foot. The Warmonger's diplomacy didn't do what it needed for him. Would have been better as an extra 3 block. Right now, though, Jared Wise sitting with 2 Vigor tokens, free gold activation, sitting with a Centauri Sellsword as well, promises to soak up some damage from Michael Hamilton.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we can just keep throwing them back in the chest.
Has a Shelter Park, still has a bunch of armor up as well. Another warrior fantasy, if you will.
They never get wasted.
Jared Wise, driver's seat right now.
Patient on that Oath of Loyalty, did not fire the 4 block from Arsenal, just wants to take a little bit more time, learn a little bit more about Hamilton's hand. Falling down now to what looks to be 12 after this Flick Knives activation.
Will we finally see Blood Spatter Vest counter being used over here? Looks like it is. Michael Hamilton representing one resource. Blood Spatter Vest being used, and Jared Wise might be rewarded for his disciplined patience in keeping the shelter from Storm in the arsenal, because Michael Hamilton representing potentially an on-hit at the end of this. Auto Dragon Scale off the back of the fealty, maybe something like a breaking point as well. That shelter with the Valen Dynamo unblemished right now as well could cover up the 5.
Hamilton working through the options here.
Was almost posturing a Syndra activation over there while just having 3 Draconic Chain Links. Ooh, okay, so we spoke about Mask of Momentum not being an on-hit that can be threatened from the Syndra side right now, but Rising Resentment, though, can. Still going to give Michael Hamilton the discount over here, but still has the 1 floating as well. Does he potentially have 2 1-cost finishes in his hand?
Looks like just gonna get cooled down
Ooh,
here
that's tough.
from the resource.
Using the dollar for a dagger, that's not what we want to do.
Counters. Ideally, they're used for the 1-cost 5 power attacks, but at this point, if you're just cashing them for 1 extra damage, that's better. That's better than ending the game with no counters on the card.
100% Ponkage. 5 damage in the form of Hunt the Hunter on the end of the chain here.
So Dynamo plus
I guess he's
Shard,
running out of
stuff
time
like
to
that.
use the
He'll
chest,
probably
so we got to do it
20
now.
fealty, not that much. One nice thing for Jared Weiss over here, though, this is likely the last on-hit. Of course, Hamilton could go for a flight path into something like a Snatch, for example, which would be another on-hit after this. But without the 1 floating anymore, he knows that that on-hit wouldn't be too threatening. Something
Leona?
breaking point.
Hamilton is going to move to Arsenal here.
Who's Leona?
One more 5-card hand. If you're in Jared's seat, you would love to find a way to offer 17 damage.
And how do I get her number?
Response from Hamilton. That's a huge ask for a Kasai deck, but a good way to get things rolling is a completely free gold activation. No card from hand used to go ahead and pick up an additional card.
I have to point out a little bit of a risky move from Jared Weiss's side. They're not using the shelter, but going to his turn, drawing a random card off the top. If that is another defense reaction, that's what you
I
want
like the
to do.
physically
Still
putting the
have the shelter
vigor
to
in
choose
your
on
pitch
his
zone.
turn. So a bit of a
I like
risky
that a
move to
lot.
keep that there. There's a lot of equity to keeping a defense reaction in your arsenal as you get to these lower life totals. You might tempt Michael Hamilton into taking a riskier move himself. We have to see whether that risk is going to pay off for Jared Wise. We don't know what the top card is so far right now, though, starting off with a free Centauri Saber attack.
I think that's a great thing to track as this match plays out, Ponkage. There was an opportunity for Jared to just go ahead and take numbers from that D-React in Arsenals. Hamilton kicking off with a 4-power attack. That, of course, brings into play the risk of on-hits. All of these things, Flesh and Blood players at the World Championships at the highest level are figuring out on the fly. They are near impossible decisions, but the best of all time, the folks like Michael Hamilton, perhaps the folks like Jared Weiss, maybe this is the start of Jared Weiss's journey into notoriety. They will make the right
Who's the
decisions
best
time
Runaways
and
player?
again, on minimal information.
Okay. If I had to tier list the Runaways players, thanks, Johnny. I think there's like 2 different ways to tier it. It's tier listing based off of best performances. And then there's tier listing based off of consistency at topping events or caching events. Like Cody's definitely up there when we talk about consistency of caching events. He's like always right on the cusp of top 8ing also. I think Dan used to be the best member on the team when we're talking about both consistency and raw performances, because he had Worlds and Nationals top. And then he's had some other things since then. He had a Pro Tour top 16, a couple Battle Hardens. I forget if he's had a calling since then, but he's definitely up there. I feel like Dan's gone down like a little bit on the tier list just because of life taking more of a priority than Fab for him over the past year. But like in a good way, like it's all positive things for him of life things being good. So Lucas is probably one of the best technical players on the team. And he's pretty consistent at doing well at events. But I don't believe Lucas has any like big tops. I think his best top is Nationals. He doesn't have like a Pro Tour or a Worlds top. If I remember correctly, the only people on the team that have a Pro Tour or a Worlds top on the team is me, Dan, and Noah. Noah's definitely up there when the meta is in a shape that the deck he's on is very good. Yeah, Seriously. Okay. I'm trying to guess who people are in my chat right now. I need to show you what my screen looks like. I don't know why, but my chat looks like fucked right now. I can't actually tell whose anyone's usernames are. For whatever reason, it's just like showing me nonsense usernames. So I've just been sitting here all stream guessing who people are. I'm guessing that you're Austin. Okay, who else is on the team? Yeah, like I would basically put money on Cody cashing events. I think Charles goes back and forth on whether or not he's going to cash. It's always, does he have an edge? If Charles has an edge, he's going to top the event. I think so much of his success comes from him, like, before the event even starts, like, whatever he's on is some nonsense that people aren't ready for. So yeah, it's like, I don't perceive myself to be one of the better people on the team. I don't think that you say that as I mentioned myself. I don't think that I play tight enough to be in the upper people. I definitely have like the tops to be in the upper if we're just looking at stats. But I know that I don't play this game seriously enough to like actually say that I'm up there. I make mistakes too much. I don't take draft seriously enough. I'm trying to get better about that, though. That's partly why I've been streaming. I've been streaming more to, like, keep myself honest of actually putting more time into the game. What am I best at? I think I'm best at game planning. And just, like, coming up with strategy. And then executing that strategy and like finding repeatable strategies, essentially. That's what I did on Dromai back in the day. I had like 15 pages on how to play every single matchup, and all those game plans were repeatable. It led to me having like 80% win rates in a lot of the matchups. Well, you say that, but I play Illusionist. My deck is always good in the meta. But I've played stuff other than that. Like, I played Lexi when that was good. I played Aurora, a little bit of Briar. Trying to remember who else is on the team. Yeah, I think I would put, like, at the top, best technical player, Lucas. Most consistent caching events would probably be Cody. Highest likelihood to spike the event would probably be Charles. Highest likelihood to convert into a win? No one. None of us win. We all get second place.
And he was rewarded. It looks like Brian has a Glinda Quicksilver and 2 Blade Flurries in this hand. Will be able to convert this hand completely. Michael Hamilton posturing a block on this as well. Will that Glinda Quicksilver draw yet another card for Jared Weiss?
Get rid of the stupid ass Warmongers. This did nothing for me. Get it out of here.
Does dodge the Centauri Saber buff here, but Blade Flurry ×2
Can we get the instant replay on Hamilton's face?
Warmongers does dodge the Centauri Saber
Boom.
buff here, but
Boom.
Flurry ×2
Okay. That was the face of, okay, fuck me, I guess.
6.
This time, the random card draw for Jared Weiss, not that strong. It's a yellow draw sword, so not have any pitch card to go ahead and resolve that card. But this happened in the previous turn cycle as well. Can just cash that in to Green.
My God, if Cody changed his name to Michael, he'd be unstoppable.
To draw off gold again, but it is just going to be the Vigor token here.
He has a decision over here to activate Greyforge Braces against Swing the Saber,
Hamilton's
or Swing the
butt
Saber
before
with floating
Hamilton's
to create
butt
another
before this
Vigor
turn.
token generated, and I like this a lot.
Hamilton's
Vigor
butt
token
after this
is the
turn.
whole
It's
card
gold
left.
activation.
It's
That's
the full
what
card.
seals this for me. But Hamilton says it's time to get defensive and puts 2 ancestral empowerments in front of it. And what a blocking hand from Michael Hamilton here. We saw Jared Weiss have the perfect response to a Warmonger's turn. I kind of feel like Hamilton
My
had
God.
a great hand to play defense in this scenario. Was able to dodge those Centauri Saber.
Such a devastation.
And that one floating then went to waste. Could have been a Greyforge Braces activation for 1 more damage. Another Warmonger's coming from Michael Hamilton. Can Jared Weiss
That was a
dodge it?
heater of a
It's
hand.
going to be a draconic Warmongers on the back of a field. He just makes
I've never seen a draconic Warmongers before.
There is go again available for Weiss in this hand.
This hand is way worse though, because he has Spells of War and Sharpened Senses, cards that he's not allowed to play. This is just going to be Saber, Bloodfaller's Blade, maybe the Cell Sword if he gets that on hit into another Saber. Can't even activate Greyforge Braces because that is not a weapon activation or an attack. He can pop into Vigor, but that's just 2 Vigor tokens potentially.
Is your icon
This time the Warmongers did what Michael Hamilton needed.
Sung Jing Woo?
Does very importantly pick up the Centauri Cell Sword though. That means this turn should get just a little bit better punkage.
The icons are like smaller than my thumbnail, so it's hard to tell.
Being refreshed. You see why Kasai is such an appealing deck. Uses resources so well. Even in punished scenario, still gets a lot out of a hand. But if I'm sitting in Jared's seat, I'm
Nice.
seeing Hamilton just saying, yep, send me the bill. With 5 cards available and that Flick Knife still rolling, this is a really scary spot to be in.
We are in for a nail biter of a finish here, folks.
I enjoyed that Manhwa.
And threatening the second Vigor token over here. Still is defensively set up very well for Michael Hamilton's offensive salvo. Has a Shelton arsenal, still has pieces of armor on the warrior side as well. And Michael Hamilton at 7, we speak about the evasiveness of
My God.
Flick Knives. Kasai has her own form of evasion as well.
Both Warmongers. You also have the Mega
Very
Man.
much a card that can suddenly close out a game out of nowhere.
Just
So far, we have not seen a single
max
reaction
punish.
from Michael Hamilton's Syndra list.
Hamilton does know, though, we're out of Blade Flurries at this point. A very important reaction to track. And Hamilton starts things off with a 0 for 4. It's going to be Oath of Loyalty, getting the party rolling here. And I think this is just the start of fireworks for
And you still have the
Hamilton.
fridge up?
And
My
I wanna go
God.
back again to
He's
the
deceased in
decision
real
to
life.
Not use the shelter on that earlier turn. Had he used it on that turn, his arsenal would have been free, and he wouldn't have needed to IP on the previous turn cycle. This are the sort of
This is when you
decisions
inform your
that make
opponent how they
World
can
Champions
concede the
decisions
game.
that have a rippling effect for a few turns later down the line. That shelter end up clogging up his arsenal after he got Warmongers.
It was a tough call, Punkage. I understand you want to get maximum value out of a card like Shelter. You want to prevent that on hit, which will be backbreaking in so many scenarios. But Hamilton was just trying to turn the game into numbers, was trying to sidestep, trying to pivot a little bit, find good Syndra defensive turns. And yeah, I think you're exactly right. It has cost Jared effectively a card over a couple of turn cycles now. Will that be the difference as we head down the stretch here?
And going down to 7 now, we are hitting danger zone for Jared Weiss. It's almost akin to playing against a Strider's deck. You have to be scared when you're hitting the 5-point life total against a Syndra. And on Michael Hamilton's side, I'm very curious to see whether he's going to clear the Centauri Cell Sword at this live total. It could very well be the case that you just...
That's tough losing on round 1 on stream.
To attack with the card.
Unlucky.
Remember, you can only attack with a Cell Sword if you've already attacked with a weapon this turn.
It depends what the output is, Punkage. Like, how much value can you get out of his hand? How much damage are you offering?
Yeah,
And
I just let him know that there is a button on his phone where he can hit I lost. Like
we check the hand, we see a throw.
I wasn't sure if he knew. It's the first round of the event.
Rippling effects. This could very well be a rippling effect, whether you clear the Cell Sword on this turn or not.
He might not know. I'm not sure what the skill level of my round 1 opponents are. They might not know.
Draws the card first and says he's going to think about the Vest trigger over here. Jared Weiss now down to 6. Flick Knive's not been activated yet, so effectively at 5 is Jared Weiss. Another thing about clearing the Cell Sword at this point is that Jared hasn't blocked with his Dynamo yet. You could potentially punish that decision by just not letting him block with it, by clearing the Cell Sword and moving to your end step.
Hamilton picked up an Art of the Dragon Blood.
I did point out earlier that I don't like how
Has
close he was putting them
Hamilton.
together.
Also look to refresh
There's no
the
way
dragon
that you need that much
ability.
space in the combat chain. Oh, the throw dagger with the oath.
Looks like, as Judge call, yep, I believe he had to use a fealty for that throw dagger because he did start this turn with an Oath of Loyalty.
So they will sort this out. They will figure out where this leaves us right now. I think we're going to have to rewind there because you just simply can't make that play should you not.
This outshot.
They just simply... And obviously it's still gated. That's the best doing the feature match.
It's like a rewind happened. The fealty people is facing down a center there. What is the choice he's going to make here?
Imagine making a mistake on stream. I'd never do such a thing. Incredible. I would never do that.
Working with 2 cards in hand. The first one is this pain in the
Did they
back,
just,
and you
like,
see a bit of hesitation
tell
from
him to tick
Hamilton.
down the
He's
fealty?
not sure exactly where this attack is supposed to go right now.
One other aspect of a judge call happening in the middle, and it is a little bit, meta of a sense, but it can sometimes disrupt your focus and disrupt your concentration. Obviously, he was thinking already before that whether he's going to clear the Cell Sword or not. Judge call happened.
Makes
Now
sense.
he needs to rethink that entire thing again.
Did they give him like a penalty or anything, or just a warning?
Frazzling, but a player like Michael Hamilton, I'm sure can deal with it.
And he does ultimately clear.
Oh, I was actually referring to me making a mistake literally on stream at this event. I make an absolute bozo play when I'm on stream. Because we're not going to get to it tonight, I'll just tell you now because I don't know if you'll be here tomorrow or whenever I get to this on stream. I also play Oath of Loyalty, and then I play my Arsenal and I pitch a card. In my brain, my Arsenal is a Marah guy. I then look at the combat chain, and it's a Dissolve Reality. I am just, like, completely stun-locked looking at the Dissolve Reality, being like, this is the weirdest looking Marah guy I've seen in my entire life. And then my opponent points out that I can't play that because of Oath of Loyalty, and I'm going, yeah, I know. And then I just shamefully put it back in my arsenal. If only there was a mechanic in the game that existed that would allow you to look at your own face-down cards in zones. They should add that rule to the game.
The Cell Swords. And now Syndra activation.
Like I said, this is why I don't put myself at the top of the tier list of people. I don't play tight enough.
Gets back the kunai here.
And I believe that was off the resource that he made from the Blood Spattered Vest. Once again, for the second time, we've seen Michael Hamilton just cash in Blood Spattered Vest counter for just a kunai activation. This is the state of the game that we're at. And now, with 2 counters on this Blood Spattered Vest, he's free to block with it. Now, you can use the last counter either for a resource, maybe 1 more damage from kunai, or use it as a blocking card.
So Jared ultimately gets this for
whatever.
They are checking now on this Oath of Loyalty.
Yeah, so
making sure that Pain in the Backside is okay. It is following a brand with Cinderclaw, so nothing to worry about there. That one was safe.
And still has 1 fealty left over, which is very
Hamilton looks like he's hyperventilating. He's like,
Hamilton now at 7. Weiss at 5. Starts things off with double vigor. That means there is a gold activation available for Jared. There's also potentially a Kasai activation on this turn, question mark. I don't know if the second yellow was there or not. We'll kick things off with the gold. Card drawn, Kasai active, Centauri Sabers discounted. And let's get a peek at Jared's hand.
Not the
okay, if you, I have no idea what your name is because it's just showing me like weird usernames. What is your name so I can know who you are on when I get to your game on stream?
Hamilton does have access to that Blood Spattered Vest, as you said. And here is Jared going back one more time, picks up a fresh card, and it's a blood on her hands with no copper out there in the arena. It's just another resource.
Opt, your arsenal is crazy.
He's got 5 extra resources left to do what he can do. Activate Kasai. If you get the on-hit on the first sword, cash in the gold immediately, try and find something better. If you can find something like an in the swing off the top maybe and suddenly clinch the game out of nowhere, that could be very big for him, but this hand currently isn't presenting too much for Jared Weiss. And that's one of the downsides. We've seen how Kasai can match the value against the Syndra, but something that the Warriors do struggle with a little bit is just sheer consistency, and we're seeing that a little bit here. Sometimes they don't have that.
Look here, Punkage, there was only 1 yellow.
Ironically, you would think Warrior would be the class of consistency.
Go ahead and get the Kasai activation. That is going to allow Unsheath to come through. Centauri Sabers will be buffed up here and get go again, offering 5 right now.
Like, I feel like that's the reason to play.
So this cannot be lethal. Well, I mean, Kasai's aren't really running a lot of the attack reactions that can be played on the first. But theoretically, unlikely though. So Michael Hamilton perhaps can rest a little bit easy on this. But unknown card in Jared Weiss's hand. Centauri Saber is
this Connor?
Could very well be backed up and in the swing from Michael Hamilton's side. And this is a danger zone for both players. 5 life on Jared Weiss's side. Throw daggers and flick knives could suddenly shrink that to 0. Michael Hamilton's side, these attack reactions like in the swing could suddenly close out the game out of nowhere.
You're this person?
When a lot of your attacks block for 2 and you're facing down Centauri Sabers, that is a very nerve-wracking position to be in.
We definitely will not be getting to that tonight.
Choose right now. What I need to do is unpack the story of this turn. And I'm asking myself, why was Jared Weiss...
I'm probably going to stream like 1 or 2 more games. It's like 11 o'clock right now.
What does it mean? If you're a player of Hamilton's caliber, you know his hand is loaded with resources.
We're going to be streaming again tomorrow, though. I'm going to try starting at 6 EST, and then we'll probably go for like 4 hours or so.
You saw that happen. You know he needs his gold to perhaps get something better on this turn. Michael Hamilton respects it. Puts 3-2 black in front of that.
And I totally agree. Deny gold here. Now Weiss is just off gold for future turn cycles, and you get to reset a little bit. Play again. There's no vigors now on Jared Weiss's side. So Hamilton basically traded his...
I'm going to try streaming all of the games. It just might take like a few weekends.
And
we got plenty of content, basically.
Over there, Jared Weiss has drawn a defense reaction, not something you want to see when you're full tempo. Starting the turn, pitching 2 cards for this draw swords.
Oh, but we got a Nourishing?
Go against Saurus. I think he might have, if he can pull off a turn where he goes Saber into Nourishing Emptiness, that could be an incredible...
Oh!
Yeah, it's going to be trot along, getting...
I activate Pot of Greed.
Particular Saber, so we're looking at 5 from Saber into a 6 dominate from Weiss, and Hamilton throws his head back. That is an awkward combination of output that Hamilton has to account for here. Sitting only at 7 life, does have some defensive options available, but they're thin ones, and says no blocks, Punkage, and that means that Weiss is going to go ahead and come through now.
make a Vigor first. You have a spare resource, make the Vigor. And we speak about evasion, Brian. You know what is the most OG form of evasion? Dominate.
It is Dominate, and Nourishing Emptiness offers 6 Dominate.
He's not
That's
dead.
3 block from Hamilton's hand.
As long as he has a 3 block, he's not
Two
dead.
Pieces of equipment, and they are big pieces, Punkage. It is the Flick Knives and the Blood Spattered Vest, and Flick Knives being not present in this endgame changes absolutely everything.
Especially when Jared Wise will draw an extra card from this Nourishing Emptiness, will have the defenses he needs to block out Michael Hamilton's remaining cards and still...
Yeah, I also thought that
output.
block out on the previous turn was kind of odd. Because it's like... Okay, what's the hope there? You're, like, fighting over the gold, but... It's not like the situation is going to get better for you on the next turn, right? Because weren't you on a 3-card hand there? So I'm saying I'm going to block out on this turn, and then next turn I'm going to hope that your 4-card hand is somehow worse than your 3-card hand? That seemed kind of suspicious.
Tools he needed to close the game, was willing to take damage early on, but Weiss had the perfect follow-up and wins both pieces of equipment here. Damage early on, but Weiss had the perfect... had the tools he needed to close the game, was willing to take damage early on, but Weiss had the perfect follow-up.
Am I missing something? Okay. I was like, what?
An extra card from this Nourishing Emptiness will have the defenses he needs.
Okay. Legal game. Definitely shouldn't have put it there. Especially after already having an issue of an illegal game action in this game. That's just making it look more suspicious.
And just 3 cards remaining for Michael
Not that I think he's a cheater or anything. It's just like, let's not make things look even weirder.
Last 5 points of Jared Weiss's life total, but Kabuto's still there. Phelan Dynamo's still there.
5 cards in hand, Punkage. It just feels like Weiss is so in the driver's seat at this moment in time, and it's going to depend a lot on the texture of the hand that Weiss puts together.
This
and
is
it looks
amazing.
damn good, Punkage.
So good.
Damn good.
I was going to say, as long as he doesn't...
Those are cards in the game of Flesh and Blood. You have won the game.
Right now, Hamilton, I believe, is sitting at 1, just a 3-card hand.
A go again and a pitch card. You've won the game.
As well, which against a Kabuto doesn't even do that much. Jared can just put Kabuto in front of the Ignite and deny the 1 extra resource. Jared happy to just block. I have 5 cards.
Defending here.
Are we going to see the Kabuto just shoved in front of this? Now, of course, Hamilton is threatening perhaps not just a kunai over here. Could be a 1 cost in hand. Just goes ahead.
I totally agree, Jared.
And 5 life. 5 life. You're sitting so comfortable if you're on Jared Weiss's side. Hamilton says...
Arsenal pass!
Convert that hand.
Oh no!
A little bit of a sorry time here, Brian.
Yeah, I've got bad news if you're a fan of Michael Hamilton. Jared Weiss found the goods in that 5-card hand. Also has the vigor to get things rolling.
So if you don't know, you go to your gem account, you click on the current event that you're in, and then it says, I lost, I won, or I drew, and then underneath it says I dropped. The correct game action to take here is hit the I lost button.
Curtains from Michael Hamilton will need a miracle to escape this turn, and you see the laugh from Hamilton. He knows the output is too much, and Jared Weiss takes down the former world champion here in round 1 of the...
I respect the BM. Good game. Congratulations on your win. How'd you end in the event? Here, answer that question. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. All of this talk of Nadia of booze is making me remember that I never got my victory booze. I have some umeshu in the fridge. I'm going to go celebrate my cashing of the event with some umeshu. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Spiggity spoogity. Nadia. Come by. Come by. Oh, that's good. The juice is in fact on the loose. 4-4, that sucks, man.
That was a nail biter.
As for momentum, going to force cards out of Jacob fairly frequently, and that's a bit of a punish sometimes. This deck doesn't block particularly well as a Randy Marionette. Cards like Scar Tissue, all very guilty of blocking too, and we're going to have to see a ton of overcommitting going on as the game goes on.
Yeah, a lot of quick game action.
Man, Jacob has just been switching decks like crazy. Is this the third or fourth different deck he's played this season?
Jacob obviously knew he was going to leak a little bit of damage, but a 2-card block on a snatch when your opponent still has a card to play with felt like a safe option. And now we head over to the Marionette's turn.
Sometimes starting at 39 against Syndra in the modern format, as we see it, is a bit of a relief, actually. I find people often starting a little bit lower. Cut from the same cloth, one of these bread and butter cards we see from Randy Marionette now, and this is why players believe this matchup is so favorable for Marionette. These cards just all trade for 4 damage. Kiss of Death, these front buffs we see taking place now, just means that you're typically 1 point ahead of those head jabs you expect to see from Syndra.
Yeah,
I assume Jacob gets shit on.
A reaction in their hand, unless there's like an ancestral empowerment or something like that, but it's getting the information off, cut from the same cloth, plus that +4 on your next attack that really matters. Pain in the backside is also going to come on in.
I haven't played against him in a long time, but I like Jacob. I'm kind of surprised that he blocked that. You know what? Fair. My brain didn't process that they're both Jacob. That was not intentional. That feels like a really suspicious block on Baw's side. Baw is a sweetie. I played him at Jersey, and we've always like chatted ever since then real quick and just said hi to each other and everything, but haven't played him in a very long time. I don't know what you're saying about all this savage, brutal nonsense. I don't understand. I feel like you just say no blocks unless Mario's putting something on the combat chain that you like have to block. Like, pain in the backside feels like one of the things that you do let through. It's 4 damage and a mark. Like, whatever. I don't think you're actually realistically ever fighting over the mark. Like, I think if Clements wants you marked, you're going to be fucking marked. But maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played this matchup before. That's just like my thinking.
This would be threatening a card.
Sheesh.
Small detail here from Jacob, I really want to highlight this early on in the tournament like the World Championship. It's very easy to run out that Saber Bloodshed ahead of time before you play a card like Pain in the Backside. Instead, concealed that information from Jacob Barr, managed to convince a block to be made on that Pain in the Backside to deny some damage and also that mark trigger that we might expect. And of course, punishes that with the Saber Bloodshed now drawing cards as a result.
Yeah, getting to flick that clave to make sure Jacob is marked up to satisfy the condition of Hunter's clave means that not only is this a whopping big hit as they cut from the same cloth, buff does not affect.
I just don't want to block unless there's an on hit that's going to take cards from me. Like this Leave No Witnesses. I wish I had the 3 block back so I could go 3 block boots on this Leave No Witnesses. I don't give a fuck about the on hit mark. You have something on the combat chain that says if this hits take my lunch money, okay, I'll block.
Here for a good time, not a long time. But Codex will get a Leave No Witnesses in Arsenal. That was blocked with on turn 0, and in it comes.
Hey, Dalton.
Arsenal disruption.
Such a sign of familiarity for me for these players. You can tell both of them are incredibly well versed in this matchup. You cannot take game actions this quickly if you're not entirely sure of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when some of the errors start to creep in. So you can see just the sheer weight of reps for both of these players. Jacob sent a fair bit of damage this turn. Now, though, the threat of disruption gives Jacob Ball some pause for thought. Now, Dragon Scale, a flight path will give him a 1 block. He knows that Clemens is pretty face up, but instead, it's going to be devotion and loyalty of 2 different flavors put in front to prevent this on hit.
Jacob here, obviously very interested in keeping the card pulled back into their
But we started by blocking. We were immediately dragged into the blocking swamp. Because we blocked in that way, we now had to donate the rest of our hand to the Leave No Witnesses. And was there a Leave No Witnesses in the grave at the start of this? Did he, like, block with it or something? Yeah. There's multiple things in the graveyard that are Codex targets. I'm not interested in blocking that Pain in the Backside. Whatever. I'll hold the mark. Whatever. The other thing is we also already know that our opponent is going to be on the following chain link. So we're here. Clements went play non-attack that pumps our dagger, pain in the backside. He's going to attack us with a dagger this turn. Like, there's no way he just played this pump and then is going to just pass turn, leaving the pump there and just waste it, right? Like, he's going to attack us with a dagger for 5. That's going to happen. Are we going to fight over the mark twice? He could sequence differently, theoretically. Like, he could pain in the backside, mark us, play stealth card. It hits, it now gets go again. And then he ends on a dagger? Sure, could be kiss. Do I give a fuck? Like, if I'm on the Syndra side of this matchup, do I give a fuck if there's a kiss of death on the combat chain? That doesn't say take my cards away. That's just damage. I don't think I give a fuck. I think the only things that I would probably care about in this matchup are the things that say on hit take away cards.
+4 on your next attack that really matters. Pain in the backside is also going to come on in. This is, of course, an assassin card that would inflict some pain, damage done by a knife where it would be allowed to hit. But this here, Save a Bloodshed, follows it up. This is a blistering pace that our competitors are playing at. Save a Bloodshed, got to get that +4 up front, and then were Jacob actually marked, this would be threatening a card draw.
Small detail here from Jacob. I really want to highlight this early on in the tournament like the World Championship. Very easy to run out that Save a Bloodshed ahead of time before you play a card like Pain in the Backside. Instead, concealed that information from Jacob Barr, managed to convince a block to be made on that Pain in the Backside to deny some damage.
I think you do probably want to block a little bit in the matchup, but I want to pick my spots to block. I want to be really patient with how I'm blocking.
Not only is this a whopping big hit, as they cut from the same cloth, buff does not affect the Pain in the Backside. Like, you're getting to see yet another card. Codex of Frailty, these guys are. They don't necessarily need to play this fast, folks. This is not exactly a drawn-out matchup. We're here for a good time, not a long time. But Codex will get a Leave No Witnesses in Arsenal. That was blocked with on turn 0, and in it comes, threatening some Arsenal disruption.
Such a sign of familiarity for me for these players. You can tell both of them are incredibly well-versed in this matchup. You cannot take game actions this quickly if you're not entirely sure of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when some of the errors start to
I think the way that you defend is the way that you gain an edge typically in the aggro mirrors. So I do think you want to defend a little bit on either side of the table. But this isn't it. Does on hit draw the same as discard? No, it isn't the same. It's valued slightly differently because of how both heroes scale with cards. Mario doesn't necessarily scale with more cards, especially like later in the combat chain. Drawing a random card near the end of their turn a lot of the times is just like an arsenal. Maybe just like a couple more points of damage, but whatever. Syndra needs access to more cards in order to actualize her value. She needs the physical chain links to re-equip her dagger, for the rupture, and for the Mask of Momentum. So she scales differently with extra cards compared to how Mario does.
For Jacob Clemens in this matchup, the Black Widow ripping cards directly out of the hand is going to deny.
Wait, did he flick? Did he flick to transform? Wait, what? Oh, because he blocked it out. Right.
Such a sure of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when some of the
Wait. What?
got to get that +4 up front, and then were Jacob actually marked, this would be.
Oh, to mark him so that way. He can, I understand. Okay.
Such a sure of yourself.
I was yapping so much I just like forgot what the turn was.
The threat of disruption gives Jacob Olsen pause.
I'm still mentally on the Pain in the Backside.
Instead, it's going to be devotion and loyalty of 2 different flavors put in front to prevent this on hit.
Jacob here, obviously very interested in keeping the card pulled back into their arsenal courtesy of that codex.
I can't believe I finally got alcohol, and that's when Nadia leaves the call or leaves the stream. Unbelievable. I say Kampai, she says nothing. Fake friend.
For Syndra to like Jesus take the wheel and run with it when now there's 2 turns back to back where some form of disruption is being leveraged in the direction of the American. Jacob opens up with that Ignite, which is an ideal chain starter, but having offered 2 cards to Jacob on the previous turn cycle means that he threaten a large turn, and without full grip, it's also
I can't wait to go back to Japan and get some more plum wine.
Jacob Clemens' hand here. Typically, these marionette decks have evolved to flick a dagger early, utilize Mask of Deceit very early to turn into Orb Weaver and create that Graphene Telisera. They need that dagger for their deck to operate and all the cards to kind of function. But when you roll Black Widow, it's a really premium option to have to disrupt the opponent on the following turn. So we see Jacob here, happy to hold onto that mask for another time, find the Telisera somewhere down the line.
True. Wait, maybe that's the play. Change my Twitter name to Michael before Pro Tours.
Which is pretty crucial.
Red-Black Shroud getting in front there. Jacob, of course, pulling out his deck with some alternate language cards. And there it is. Just as we mentioned it, Orb Weaver Spinneret is going to confer a small buff to the next attack, but crucially, give Jacob access to a Graphene Chelicera.
Big fan of seeing Jacob Barr there throwing that snatch. Only for 3, but understands...
So what would the turn have been if we had blocked differently? So he blocked... Conditional go again, conditional go again. Is it? But he has the Ignite. So we can go Ignite into the 1 for 4. Into either 0 for 3. Into Snatch. That seems pretty good. His turn was actually kind of lit. Alternatively, 2-card 5. We got 5 on offense and 3... seven on defense. So it was a 5-card 12. Ugh.
Ripping cards directly out of the hands, going to deny Syndra these powerful 4 and 5 card hands you need for this hero to operate, and most importantly, threaten that mask of momentum.
I think he basically lost the game because of that. Like, I think that was a game-losing block.
Chelicera coming in. This is now for 2. Obviously, go again printed here, and stealth is the most important aspect of this card. Arachne Black Widow promises Jacob the opportunity to discard a card to get +3.
I always forget which Arachne is which. Is this the one that makes him discard a card?
That blocks surprisingly well for Jacob Barr. One of the small upsides in this matchup, as players begin to race, if you do find these clunkier hands that both heroes are somewhat guilty of at times, block 3 cards mean a world of difference for a deck like Syndra. I'm going to see.
What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck is this block? Banish, discard. What you know what I'm asking? Is this the one that makes me discard? Like, however you want to phrase that. But what the fuck is this block? Block 5, block 6. You got no follow up. What? Can't make me discard a card if I discard it myself. What are we doing?
2 of them committed here to mitigate the potential of this Black Widow activation.
Yeah, Ancestral Empowerment, one of the few 3 blocks available to Syndra.
Jacob's just like, okay.
Potential +3 pump from his opponent, also known as Jacob. I need to make sure his full names in this head-to-head. Jacob Clem's obviously mindful of this, knows his player is of the caliber to work around a pretty face-up prospect. And so another pain in the backside comes in.
Very quick block here, and happy to see that last card suspended. Jacob, of course, could use that.
I just didn't see the vision. We're playing Fatigue Syndra.
Not worried about the last card from Jacob Barr's hand. Instead, thinks there's more value in the card they chose to keep in their arsenal.
Okay, so this is a Ravenous Rabble, which almost always is going to represent 4 damage with gold.
That's in the wrong zone.
It's a decent non-draconic starter for the Syndra. Jacob says here, I'm just going to convert my arsenal to 4 value.
I don't know, every time I play a Ravenous Rabble, there is a throw dagger on top of my deck. It's definitely a side of the equation I fall on.
I believe Syndra should be punished for playing Warmonger's Diplomacy personally. So, you know what? I don't get too upset when I see that get flipped from Ravenous Rabble, but this time, no punish. Just 4 honest damage.
Jacob Barr in the feature match area for a reason.
I've taken so much psychic damage from how Boz played this.
A bit of a pickle. This is a weird spot for Mario to be in. Jacob's done a lot of the things you want to be doing so far in this game, has successfully provided both interaction and damage. Is ahead in the race, will still be ahead if they take this Ravenous Rabble, but it's not always easy to convert every card for Jacob when he's not in an alternate Agent of Chaos form. If he finds himself with some resource cards, maybe you would rather
The pump makes it 7? What do you mean?
Relying on the Hunter's Clave or the Chelicera. However, we're going to see this mask block here, and this is a very different use than you might expect of this card in the matchup. This shows us something that Jacob understands about the dynamic here that maybe most players might not. Didn't need to rely on that Orb Weaver to find a Chelicera, thanks to finding Instead, just wants to keep threatening to rip cards.
Honestly, people still play Rabble if it did that. That might actually be better. Wait, that's just Jittery Bones. Hold on.
A little bit more of that disruption. With a blue in hand, that Spinneret going to be pitched away to send this Graphene Chelicera in. And we've got to be mindful, this is a stealth attack. Arachne Black Widow still live, it's some disruption.
One of my favourite parts about this deck is the ability to turn these defensive cards into aggressive tools if you are Agent of Chaos. We see a Den of the Spider in the hand here for Jacob Clemens. Could have used that on defense against that Ravenous Rabble. Instead decided that we're going to discard it here on this Graphene Chelicera, turn it into interaction alongside this to the point. This is a pretty serious
Was it 7?
and we're taking cards away from Syndra in the process.
Yeah, I guess, you know, that Den of the Black Widow represents like...
Is this the one that gets +1 if he's marked?
Jacob's already affected by it, so
yeah.
There is an outlet here to the point, of course, turns into a 0 for 4 attack reaction. That is numbers that many warriors pre-Blade Flurry could only have dreamed of. This is exactly what you're looking for to convert your hand as well as possible. Hunter's Clave, of course, the follow-up here. This does threaten a mark on Jacob Barr.
Big part of this matchup is making sure these effects that we just saw, like to the point, are online and active when you draw them in the hand. So taking a little bit of heat sometimes to keep resources to send Hunter's Clave, pretty big deal. Syndra not going to want to block that dagger. Armor not best aligned to block it either, given the piercing on the other side. Keeping Syndra marked, big part of the game plan here.
However, leave no witnesses following up here on an arsenal-less target means that Jacob is still looking for a turn extender, still looking for sort of sources of damage. And for Arachne Marionette, hitting a marked hero definitely works when you've got, cards like Second Bloodshed that could give you cards drawn off of it. But when you send a more standard attack here and detonate the mark,
how do we win this game now?
Happy though to go to Arsenal after chunking Jacob Board down to 17.
Jacob, of course, losing Brown with Cinderclaw does find themselves with some interesting cards in hand, though. Ignite's this kind of bread and butter play we used to.
What do we need to happen to win this game from Ba's side? I think we basically are so far behind that we need to get incredibly lucky. And I think all of the luck has to do with the hand texture that Clements draws. Like, I think we need to play our 3-card hand here, and then Clements' hand doesn't really convert, so he just blocks. And then we can play a 5-card hand next turn. And then we can try chaining him for multiple rounds. I think that's the only way that we can win. We just need Clements to kind of brick. Don't validate Dan like that.
From Syndra at this point facilitates a kunai for free. But it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, we have. I thought we had a spreading flames in hand, but I might be wrong. All these various shades of red do tend to blend together.
Yeah,
For these Syndra players.
Syndra's basically the Baskin Robbins of head jabs. You know, you got whichever flavor you want. They all have slightly different effects. And we'll see what Jacob obviously was happy to take a bunch of damage in that previous turn cycle to facilitate.
This is a pretty appealing situation for Jacob Clements. This is very much why players are bringing Arachne Marionette this weekend. You just get to win the race against Syndra. We see such a large life disparity because these cards have been worth 4 damage. We've seen that time and again the interactions lined up with these Black Widows, and instead we see Jacob Bar hit.
There was no Marios in Top Cut, right?
These kind of vanilla Baskin Robin head jabs, as you want to put it, that don't quite feel as appealing as these interactive pieces from Marionette.
The block of the Black Tech Whisperers necessitates a flick knife there just to keep the chain links with hits alive. And so Display Loyalty comes on in here. Ignite and Kunai Retribution, of course, are Draconic chain links. So this generates a fealty token. And again, it's just another flavor for you. It is a 0 for 3, crucially with go again because that condition has been met.
Does of course earn that card from Jacob Clements due to Mask of Momentum. Don't want Jacob Bar drawing additional cards here and continuing this turn. But I'm kind of impressed by how Clements has navigated this matchup so far. I think it's very easy to overcommit to Mask of Momentum in a lot of these spots, but by being proactive, especially with Arachne Black Widow, Jacob's managed to not have to care about Mask of Momentum. There's no draw being threatened on the majority of these turns, and as a result, we're seeing 4 and 5 card hands converted time and again into raw, unadulterated damage.
And frankly, this is a 15 life lead that Jacob has been able to maintain. This is huge. Dragon Scale.
Why are we blocking with boots? What does this accomplish? What is the point of this block? What could possibly happen here that makes me want to block with boots? There's nothing that could happen here, right? That would make me go, I'm so glad that I blocked with boots on this chain link, right? It would just be that Jacob somehow, for some reason, just passes turn and I break boots on my turn. Yeah, but why this chain link? Like, surely Jacob isn't just passing, right? I guess the only reason that this would be good is if I want to use boots on my turn and Jacob just plays multiple dagger pumps at reaction speed on this dagger and then passes turn. Right? That'd be the only thing. He blocked with a front pump and boots. So he still has 3 cards in hand. Yeah, I don't know. This also feels loose. But also, I just would have already blocked my boots earlier this game on that. Leave no witnesses. Ah.
A flat path now finds its purpose. So Jacob potentially eyeing off some non-go again cards that he wants to try and confer that ability to trade it in for the block straight away. Here's a flick, though, of the Hunter's Clave. That is the last one heading into the bin, but crucially, again, it's a mark inflicted by Jacob Clements.
Worth knowing as well.
Oh, my, that is filthy.
Sheesh.
Normally, you play it one at a time, but yeah, we have a Tarantula Toxin here, Scar Tissue, and of course, to the point comes on in. A Loyalty Beyond the Grave is a 3-block defense reaction that comes in. Oh, second Tarantula Toxin! Oh, we were worried that there was a loss of value there for Jacob Clements on the first one, but this second one will shred the loyalty down to 0 block. This is an immense amount of damage.
Jacob Bar's going to need Loyalty Beyond the Grave.
My God.
Grave, I'm afraid. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. Arachne Trapdoor is also fine. You know what?
A good thing we blocked with the boots, I guess. We would be dead. But also, I don't think it matters. I think we lose this game anyways.
If you were looking for rationale as to why players have been bringing in this deck this weekend, this is why.
We are digging, of course.
But did the boots actually save him? He can never win the game. 1-32. Like, the game is over. The boots saved him by letting him add an extra 5 minutes to the clock. I still think that's loose. I think the only way that you can win this game is by using the boots to stop an on-hit. True.
2 to 3 traps. Normally in the deck, we've already seen Den of the Spider. There are, of course, a number of other options here for Jacob Clemens, and he has found his pick of the litter. Now, Jacob Boy, this is a reasonable hand. This definitely threatens some damage. Now, does it
I'm just going to skip forward because there's nothing to watch here.
Jacob Clemens there, of course, lies in this matchup.
We're dead to the flick. Yeah,
like under-respecting what that deck is capable of. The Verdant's matchup, not as bad as some players think it is. And when you're looking at a field to be very full of Syndra, which is evidently quite favorable for you, and a Verdant's matchup...
Here's how the ebb and flow of the Guardian game plan now operates.
What time is it? 11? How long is this game? We'll finish up this game. Bravo.
We're already seeing an aura of suspense in play.
We are. Edge of their seats blue. I guess this is one of the perks of playing Bravo in this spot. There's a lot of very appealing turn 1 plays. Sometimes you can hit that dominate button. Sometimes you can build a board full of auras nearly free of charge without the opponent threatening your life total in any meaningful way. We'll see our way made over to Ilias afterwards.
Bro just went crazy with his nose. Start your engines.
The game plan Bravo player, and I guess I'm kind of happy about that. You've got to be rather brave throwing a deck like this to a World Championship, very certain of yourself, and it certainly looked it in the first couple of turns of this game as those cards have come together.
Now, obviously,
is that the Unity Shield?
Method of manipulating those suspense counters. So for Ilias, it's pretty face up as to when he's going to have to be facing the music, so to speak, when these big buffs start to come to play. There's still a lot to be looking at here on the field. You notice that Iron Fist Revelation here in the arm slot. Obviously, a newer option here available to Guardian with Mastery Pack Guardian, allowing you to defend with it, flip over a card with Crush in your arsenal, and potentially power it up for its inevitable deployments.
Yeah, pretty significant upgrade for Bravo. I find these Crush attacks at their best in this hero thanks to that evasive hero ability. Show of Strength in the bin here for Ilias, not ideal, but Wild Ride kind of is. This deck needs to go wide numerous times over the course of a turn. Bravo not so good at the interactive element during the opponent's turn. It's very much proactive interaction with those Crush triggers. So we're going to be relying on some number of defense reactions, I'm sure, but we need cards like Rousey.
I disagree. I think it's strictly worse than Steel Blade. If you're playing Bravo, I assume some percentage of your games you're just going to fatigue. Some percentage of those games, your opponent had to pick up your shield and read what it does. And that might be the difference maker of you running out of time on the clock.
To function. When you're playing these suspense auras, you're already playing a lot of cards that don't have an attack value. It's hard to fit everything in.
And you're also feeling, if you're in Bay's position, that
that was a joke that we had on the team during Aria,
some attack action or benefit from that buff,
where the Winter's Wail ban was actually a buff to Oldhim because of that it meant that people spent less time thinking about your hammer swing, so you could actually like finish your games in time. The arms, it's something like block with them, flip your arsenal face up, and it gets +1 or something like that if it has like Crush or something. I don't know. It's fucking stupid ass Guardian gloves. Who cares?
So that can affect your blocking decisions on the prior turns. Like something that Ilias is certainly going to be trying to make use of. The Reckless Stampede that comes in here, one of the newest additions in Super.
It says Guardian. It's unplayable.
On defense, Clash here though, this represents a nice 7 damage.
I've got a rule when it comes to cardboard squares.
The classic no blocks chain link 1. Ah shit, I wanted to block this turn. I should have blocked chain link 1.
Multiple Clash triggers if you choose to cover this up with armor or multiple cards.
Each time you have to Clash, right? You defend it. Yeah.
Sometimes that's an awful lot of damage, and sometimes these KO decks are packing blue copies of Unexpected Backhand, which means you can reveal a card that does additional damage on top of the deck as well.
I'm gonna be honest, it's been a long time since I've played a deck where my opponent played Guardian cards on the combat chain on attack instead of defense. I'm just always playing decks that Guardians have to fatigue.
Suddenly, in the late game, you're like, I'm on 8 health, I'm perfectly fine, and you can take it all from one gigantic...
Oh shit, we ain't fatiguing this game, boy.
Doing so here from Reckless Stampede.
Yeah, clearly there's significant...
The face is the place.
Part of this, of course, is Edge of their Seats coming into play. That's 2 suspense counters, of course, on it. So no clashes, even though...
Are we playing Lyeth with extra steps?
There are some misses, of course, like Rousey Agents, or a lot of these instant auras now that would...
Or Pallades.
Those clashes, so not a chance you necessarily want to take. Boulder Drop here. Not going to be benefiting from any of those auras of suspense here, but of course it still has a crush effect when it does 4 or more damage. Ilias would have to take a card from their hand and stick it on top.
Huge upgrade for Guardian.
All right, let's pay attention to if he ever uses the Bravo hero power or plays a Bravo specialization.
I think that's very indicative of where Guardian is now. This kind of on-hit, very pressing, forces interaction from decks like
Because we saw the blue ball drop in the Yalva trading list, the Armory deck, I want to say.
been around the table, I think. The player kit's been around for a while.
If he never does, then he was playing the wrong hero.
Here, now being printed in red, which I think get in the Pleiades Armory deck, by the way, it represents 2 card 7 and gem packs as well. Yep, 2 card 7 with a crush effect, which is seriously nice value for Guardians. The game has definitely changed. We're seeing some level of power creep, and Guardians are able to benefit from that with their mastery pack having been brought into the game recently. It's gonna be blocked out mostly. Just a little bit of damage sneaking through. Really,
I like the I like the thought of preserving life total here. I'm not, from the KO side, I'm not concerned at all about fatigue now that my opponent decided to trade damage with me on the last turn. And with him putting all these stupid ass auras in play, I'm pretty interested in preserving my own life total. I think I just want to play as efficient as possible and like hold my life total so that way I don't just like randomly lose the game. Because whatever I'm doing is going to be more efficient than what my opponent is doing. Like if he's trying to play a proactive Guardian game, like let's keep it a buck. All of his cards suck ass. Like he's playing Guardian. They are all terrible cards. Just by the basis of me having a hero power that says get +1 value a turn, my deck is inherently better. So I just want to make sure that like I can extract all that value and not just randomly die because my opponent just put like fucking 30 dominate on the stack or some bullshit.
Important piece of sequencing from Bayer in the last turn, by the way. Playing that into the seats on the end of Ilias's turn means they are aligned with each other. And that's a really big part of the game plan here.
What is he putting in Arsenal?
If they're played independently, and incredibly problematic.
I couldn't see what that last card was.
That's what we're looking for. And choosing that sequencing means that these edge of their seats are going to be triggering at the same time here. In line with a somewhat mediocre turn here from Ilias, gives B the freedom to do what they want to do here.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that you can't really manipulate those suspense counters, but that's not fully true. You have so much agency as to when you deploy that aura, either on your turn or your opponent's, that you effectively can decide if it has that extra suspense counter or not. Here we go, 2 edge.
All right, cards in front of cards.
This is a big old buff, and they are now looking at the hand, trying to decide if they want to stick a bit of evasion on top of this. Here's a Tear Asunder as well. This already gives you the dominate, but now threatening the on-hit of discarding 2 cards with a big buff and a boulder drop. Ilias is going to have basically nothing to work with when the dust settles.
Boulder drop for 16, not a phrase you ever really want to hear. Boulder drop for 16 with dominate, on hit, take your house is really not...
Okay, whatever. He's at 23, though.
I find Ilias still could be happy about this, somewhat unsurprisingly, and I'm sure this life total disparity we find early from the pressure from Ilias is about to close pretty significantly.
Yeah, they're not fully representing the amount of damage Boulder Drop is presenting, given that maybe there's not enough dice in the vicinity to adequately do so. But that is a whopping large amount of damage. Tear Asunder means that no Bravo activation is required.
How much is it getting? +9?
Well, I mean, what card do I want to block with, and what card do I want to put on top of my deck is almost the decision here.
So 16?
Interesting card in hand here for Ilias. We do see Blood Rush Bellow available. One of these was pitched during that first turn to facilitate...
Whatever, block 3, move on with life.
We've seen here. If they're careful, they can get it back on top of their deck, courtesy of this Boulder Drop. Try again once the evasion is through. If they're not, things can get a little bit worse.
Yeah, Ilias actually has a ton of agency here. He gets to decide what cards get discarded, what card gets blocked with, and what card goes on top of the deck. Not exactly how you want to play Flesh and Blood, because there's still an absurd amount of damage being taken. But this virtually time walks Ilias, I think.
I love the mental damage here from Ilias. How would you like to order your triggers? For reference, that's entirely irrelevant. It changes nothing whatsoever. But for just a moment, you saw the pause from our Bravo and go, hang on a second. Does that matter?
The illusion of choice is very important for Ilias Caramana. So, all right, we see the cards.
All that, and we're still ahead.
That was the show of strength ending up on top of the graveyard here. And we have squeaky clean empty hands. Ilias getting ready to wave the back to Bayer Budnik. And here we go. Now,
yeah, but like bye-bye his own life total. He's at 23.
In their hand, but is this deployable?
Like, look at all those hoops that he jumped through, and he's still behind.
Technically speaking, Crippling Crush can be played here, but no Dominate available if that's the name of the game. Of course, a menagerie of equipment still available here for Ilias, and we know that Blood Rush Bellow
This is what I was saying, like, protect the life total.
If they want to stymie this on hit, they can do it.
Okay, well, Crippling Crush is going to be sent out. It looks like it was 2 red, of course, in the hand for Bayer. So Synchrolocranial, Disable, all getting pitched away.
So I believe that is a...
And Guardian players always cope thinking their deck is good.
So this promises back-to-back turns of disruption here from our Bravo Showstopper player.
This is so fun. Okay, so like I buy and sell cards. I've been having so many orders for Guardian cards for Silver Age. And every time I'm picking them, all I can think of is just the Guardian player on the other side that's just like, I can finally play Guardian. I'm good in a format finally. I'm good in a format finally. Give it a few weeks and of people exploring the format for people to realize Guardian is still unplayable in that format. Please buy my Guardian cards. Buy them, please. Buy them, please. Get rid of them while I can.
See if we can peek at what Ilias is working with here as well. We're going to see that unexpected backhand, the Blood Rush Bellow. We know about High-Pitched Howl, a really cool inclusion in this deck to generate additional Vigor tokens, make those 2-cost attacks chain together more often, and Buckwild. So plenty of variety available here. Can go wide, can set up a big Blood Rush turn, but it's going to demand the entire suite if we want to keep the hand together.
Oh, okay, he's deceased.
Short to Tyrannical Rex, the Crown of Providence, and Scamp Skin Leather is being put out here. Crown of Providence trigger will be taken, so that's the Arsenal being sent away. We'll have the draw out.
I'm surprised he didn't
Oh,
block
crush, trigger,
at
oh,
all
still
to
playing
kind of sculpt this Blood Rush.
More importantly, not just playing the game.
I didn't see what the hand was, but
Arsenal converted into an additional card, makes up for the defense that was required. We're going to see a rather potent Blood Rush Bellow making its way onto the combat chain pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, this may force our Bravo Showstopper player into a more defensive cycle. There is a crippling crush in the Arsenal, and they've got 2 reds in their hand, so they still like to be on the front foot if at all possible. I think the blocking decisions will be very telling in this game. We'll start there with the Blood Rush Bellow from our German national.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it's 3 reds in hand.
red polarity is that how much? No.
Not ideal. There's a 3-cost Buck Wild in the hand that we know about, which is a little more awkward to navigate on this turn one way or the other, depending on what's found. But Ilias, of course, a professional player, just going to find blue cards that offer resources regardless, and not worry about it.
Yes, trolling me there. Okay, well, we found our blues, haven't we? My goodness. That Buck Wild, of course, now still promises to be deployed, and will allow for a lengthier turn here. How do you sort of feel about this kind of hand to draw up, though, after the Blood Rush? I think it was 2 blues that were plucked off the top.
I guess I got to go through my Rosetta bulk.
From Super Slam. These blues aren't necessary evils anymore. They're genuinely very powerful cards. Buck Wild extending turn, smashing ground, doing a command and conquer impression. Admittedly, energetic impact, not ideal in this spot. It's very much more of a defensive tool. But you don't mind drawing these resource-heavy hands because you can convert these cards thanks to these powerful 3-cost go-again options, or even these impactful on-hits the deck has been given in forms of like Strongest Survive, for example. So not upset to see this. In fact, you should expect it. There's a much higher blue density in these decks than there was before.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, only having access to 1 Mandible Claw, Ilias needs to generate, you know, like a lengthier turn through these attack actions and a bigger hand. Buck Wild, that feels expensive. It's a 3 for 7, but again, getting that go again matters a whole lot. So Spinal Crush gets in front. One of the reds, I think there were 2 reds drawn up here by our American competitor. The first one of those is going to be offered up on blocks. Buck Wild now, of course, follows up. This is 9, go again. Not a number to scoff at.
I was very interested to watch if Ilias wanted to utilize the gauntlets here to activate Smashing Ground, if they wanted to threaten the Arsenal here from B. Worth noting, of course, the Crown of Providence still available makes that line far less appealing. Instead, would rather just pressure and well, just ridiculous numbers that come with Blood Rush Bellow.
Yeah, exactly. The longer return you can have, obviously, the more times you're getting that +2 buff on each of your attack actions.
Yeah, like those both seem like pretty reasonable cards in the format.
Send a crippling crush, but with a card blocked here, it starts to become less and
They
less.
say generic, not Guardian. They have to be much better.
It's a bit of a Faustian bargain, I guess, that you sort of buy into there, because giving a quicken token over towards KO can be relevant. It's something that the Brute player can certainly make use of. There are plenty of go-again sources available to them, but still.
Yeah, this is the kind of spot I really like using Civic Steps, to be honest. We see 2 cards in hand here from Ilias, very eager to send another attack, obviously, so you can just make that quicken token expire and get wasted by using it in a spot like this. More importantly, Blood Rush Bellow, also the optimal spot to be using your equipment. Just stymie as much damage as possible while these numbers are so high.
Yeah, so quicken token offered, but very difficult for Ilias to make use of it, and that's what Bay was able to determine. So Buck Wild represented 9, 7 here from Smashing Ground. And of course, this is pretty relevant because on a turn when it has a buff, it threatens the Arsenal. And so we're going to have to get in front with all of the toys. 2 cards from hand, even the shield being passed up here.
Yeah, the Bastion there coming in clutch.
I got to go through my bulk.
Or 2 provided by Blood Rush Bellow. And we know that Crippling Crush is in the Arsenal there, and therefore a very important part of the future turn cycle for Babe and Nick. We're making the way back over to Ilias here. Now, this is a very important hand. KO, of course, much better at converting their cards than they used to be, courtesy of cards like Buck Wild, but sometimes very guilty of drawing hands that need to roll Scabskin Leathers to chain multiple attacks. And right now, we're looking at one of those.
That is, yeah, it is a very blue hand. Might token, of course, will be in play. It's a +1 for Ilias' first attack. I mean, plenty of blues all across the table. It might be a hand that can make use of Rousey Agents here for Bear Nick, but I don't think they're expecting to get to use it in such a fashion. Crippling Crush stuck in Arsenal, but can be shucked out of there by a block with the Crown of Providence if Bear doesn't feel like that's a play pattern that they can afford to opt into.
You can see the frustration on Ilias' face here. This is not a pleasant situation to find yourself in when you've managed to take the tempo away from a deck like Bravo. You kind of
Whatever, just like throw 2 cards and pass. It's not that deep. Don't do it. Don't roll the Scabs.
You're not actually presenting
Okay.
much of relevance. And of course, you have to take a risk here. If we don't
There's just like no reason to take a risk here.
we might find ourselves not sending
This is wrong.
A little spirited.
Okay. This is wrong. You are ahead in this game right now by 6 points. And it's like the good kind of ahead where you're ahead going into your turn attacking. There is no reason to throw your lead. You do not need to win more. You just need to play normal Flesh and Blood, and you will naturally win this game. Play a 2-card hand, put a card in Arsenal, move on with life. There's no reason to do this.
Rolling like a brute. I appreciate it. Okay. A 2 rolled on that Scab Sense, which means no extra action points. The risk now of an intellect penalty self-inflicted by Ilias Karamanis is real. It's going to be Bare Fangs, the most efficient option chosen here. Obviously, we'll be promising a discard of a card for 6 or more. This becomes a 7 power attack.
This is maybe best case scenario for Babe Nick here. Bare Fang's yellow, slightly smaller than the red counterpart. Might token going to be made, but we have enough of a life total here that if we want to hold on to these cards to present Crippling Crush, we certainly can. More importantly, that Iron Fist Revelation, Crippling Crush, pretty much the perfect target for that.
And still, this is representing a significant portion of Bay's life total. This has been a very aggressive game for both players. It's only just now that the Bravo players actually had to be more defensive. Crippling Crush and Arsenal, you're right. It would be nice
Classic
to
brute gameplay, never punished.
For another card, but there's plenty of those to work with for the American.
It's like Tear Asunder, copy of Headbutt in the hand there as well.
Thunderquake in the hand as well as, yeah, it's an interesting texture for sure. They're all blues. It doesn't matter. You can use that to fuel whatever sits in your arsenal. You call it Scott. Iron Fist, Revelation, gets in front. And this, of course, will allow a +1 to be given over the Crippling Crush. Make that Crush effect even harder to potentially avert, especially if there's enough resources in the hand to give it some good old Dominate.
I think this arm piece is being still slept on just a little bit from folks. Of course, the other side of the table features the other equipment.
I don't think anyone's sleeping on it. It says Guardian.
But Iron Fist Revelation represents 5 value across a game, and sometimes significantly more if you can stack those counters onto a card like Crippling Crush and suddenly create extra problematic breakpoints.
Now, with 4 blues in hand, this is what, a Dominated Crippling Crush with an Arsenal target, potentially? That is very tantalizing. Yeah, very. I mean, you have all the resources you need to do the thing. The thing that's been done.
But he's at
for
11.
a long time in Flesh and Blood. Bravo ability. Dominate now. Next attack.
Okay, so we've done the Bravo thing. We are correct in playing Bravo, not the other heroes. We've done the thing with our hero and played 2 Crippling Crushes.
Very interesting to see they're pausing here after the Bravo activation. Makes you wonder if they're deciding that Crippling Crush is better used elsewhere, or perhaps just deciding what card goes in the arsenal. Kind of like banking that Tear Asunder for later, should we get back to it, instead choosing to prioritize keeping that Rouse the Ancients. Understands that now the tempo is going to be with them. They want to find 5-card hands, and they want to keep their foot down while Crippling Crush is doing its damage.
Now, of course, it's not a time walk. That is to say, it doesn't end Ilias's turn. It is very punishing. KO can operate really efficiently off small hands. It's kind of one of the nicer things brought to the Brute table with their inception to the game. But in terms of adequately threatening life total, that gets harder for Ilias.
I've got to talk about a card in the hand here for Ilias. Fearless Confrontation offers the ability to strip
Oh!
attack. Would be an incredibly powerful tool here. Normally,
But then he can't do anything.
Discard, but in this case,
It might still be correct, though, just to preserve your life total. I don't hate that. Just like block 7 on it, lose the Wild Ride, hold your life total lead, go next. I kind of like that. I think with my life total, I'm kind of into that play.
not blocking means that, yes, Ilias could convert this hand into additional defense, take less damage from this Crippling Crush, but they're not going to be able to find a way to have much of a turn however they play things out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have a -1 on that Fearless Confrontation as well, so Crippling is now 11, no Dominate, but then you have two cards in hand to block with after the fact. It still leaves you pretty light-handed and in a tough spot. There is the potential that...
Well, he's got the Tear, so he can do something next turn. But
I think he can get in there with the leathers.
He's got 23 points of life to get through.
Some rather complicated calculus. As much as we talk about K doing a lot of small hands, when Wild Rider's involved, it becomes less easy.
He's going to eventually, like, stop having high-impact cards.
Ilias does respond. Okay, so we're going to choose to use his hand on defense. I think there was a lot of avenues his hand could have gone. You can always choose to take the risk that you keep Show of Strength and a blue off of this Crippling Crush and just tank the damage with your face, but instead...
I can't believe it. Block 6, take 5. My math is correct. That's still a crush effect.
It is. Now, I really like this choice from Ilias. I think it's very easy to try and get greedy, for lack of a better phrase. Keep that Show of Strength around, try and get a bit lucky on the Crippling discard. I don't think that's how you actually win the game. You need Bayer as a deck that, like Guardian, that struggles to convert these 5-card hands always to find a hand that doesn't quite come together and buy yourself some breathing room again. We've seen both players do this over the course of the game. However, we are seeing a few attacks and more importantly Tear Asunder here that Rouse the Ancients we know about in the Arsenal. Hopefully allow Bayer to continue converting these cards and maybe punish Ilias just a little bit for buying that space.
Tear Asunder's turned on based on the hand here for Bayer, right? You've got plenty to reveal. Just need to show 13 power of attack action cards when you play it, and with a full hand, that's not an issue at all. So now we have a turn extender in Rouse the Ancients. We have Disruption in Tear Asunder. These are all expensive effects, but with blue from wall to wall in the hands of our Guardian player, it should be very much doable.
Going to be tough to decide how you want to sequence this. Does take the Tear Asunder line instead. I like this quite a lot, actually. Just continuing to provide relevant on-hits for Ilias to consider. Leans into Buckling Blow here to align with this Tear Asunder. Going to present a breakpoint, going to present additional points of Dominate, and just keep forcing cards out of the hand. Not interested in letting KO keep these big hands that are required to convert from this point.
Also, I mean...
You spent a full card on giving it Dominate. I just spent a full card on removing the Dominate and giving it -1.
This is pretty reasonable, but maybe not quite...
What a joke.
What expected from this turn? What are we seeing here for Ilias?
Double Wild Ride. Not exactly what you're hoping to find when you're on the back foot, but Tear Asunder is the unfortunate part of this equation. If this was just an attack that was pressuring damage, Ilias would be very happy about the situation they find themselves in, especially given that Savage Dash is still available. But rewarded for not going wide off Rouse the Ancients here, choosing this Tear Asunder line means that this turn just doesn't quite come together again.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the crush effect on Buckling Blow is not what is important here. It's Tear Asunder's hand disruption that Ilias is going to be subject to, most likely in this case. Dominate only...
I've used Fearless to remove Dominate more than I have used it to save an ally.
2 block here from equipment, taking 5. And we'll be divesting ourselves of a pretty significant portion of the Brute's hand.
2 triggers, discard 2 first. I was somewhat panicking that perhaps no fear was lurking in the arsenal for Ilias, which would have been a disgusting way to get out of this situation in particular. Instead, choosing to discard Swing Big and Wild Ride. Very important that Tear Asunder, unlike Crippling Crush, is a choice. You do get to choose which cards you're keeping. Ilias doesn't have to take any risks here, understands the...
All that, and he still has the life lead.
...alongside the card in their arsenal and try and go a little bit bigger that way.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this turn looks like. Savage Dash activation, because in many spots you could just send a Swing Big and have an acceptable time of things, but no. We have Savage Dash activated now, so 6 or more power attack actions cost 1 less to play. Which is Wild Ride a little bit more reasonable. Buck Wild shown off the top.
No, I actually use it. I've never used it on a pulping. I've used it more often on like rando dominate things like guardian attacks or some shit. Oh, that's goofy.
I mean, Ilias had that fantastic Blood Rush Bellow turn that basically takes us to this situation despite a couple of difficult turn cycles for the German. They're still ahead in life.
You put back alley on the combat chain so much.
And still now threaten something close to lethal on this turn. 9 is better than 8, I suppose. That's why Swing Big was not the option. Civic Steps comes in again, and once more, if Bear is anticipating a Mandible Claw follow-up, it's a quicken token that is completely superfluous.
Love to see the use of Civic Steps in these profitable spots. Very well navigated throughout this game by our Bravo player. It is just the Mandible Claw as a follow-up. 5-card hand here for Bay to work with. I'll be very interested to see if they take the defensive route here or whether or not that hand is capable of swinging for the hills. I think at a peak, we might have a small resource problem being baited just a bit there, but I believe we're, even worse, comes back as soon as I pull away, look at that. So Command and Conquer, I believe there's a red copy of Edge of Their Seats and a Starstruck as well, so a chunk of reds and a yellow does mean that we're going to struggle to facilitate Bravo and a powerful attack. Does decide, okay.
I mean, again, we see the Savage Dash come in, and a discerning viewer has to imagine that it's more for just the cost reduction of Wild Ride, but this is a 1-cost attack here that, of course, becomes free.
Got him. Pranked.
And there it is, 5 damage. Talk about a turn.
Yo, sick Guardian deck, bozo. Hold this.
Well managed, earns the card from Bay as a result. I was very curious.
You play 4-card 7s. I play 3-card, what was that, like 15 or whatever? We're not the same.
Capable of 2 damage as an instant speed effect. That's not a way you want to lose this game. Not in how well it's been navigated by both these players. Choosing to give up the card.
That's just like typical Bravo stuff, though.
Means that we're not getting cheesed out of this game.
This is why we always meme on Bravo on the podcast. Like, it's just such an unplayable hero. But it's because all the class cards suck ass. Like, the hero power sucks, and the cards suck. The only thing that's like redeeming about Guardian is the armor and the talent cards.
There's worlds that just denies a card. At the end of the day, you cannot let Starstruck connect and take away all of your 6 power attacks. I think a lot of people have forgotten about the potency of this card. There was a time where this was restricted.
What if we took Assassin but made it worse?
Renowned power level, because we don't see so much of Bravo these days. It's easy to forget how prominent and powerful.
I saw that tweet. That was funny.
Let me not try to throw this game into the trash can by forgetting how this Majestic works.
And I overlooked the fact, pardon me, that Bravo was activated here. So this Starstruck is actually vastly more threatening now, where it has some evasion stapled to it. Only 1 card from heck can be blocked with. So in theory, Ilias would not be able to deploy, what, 7? Nothing. We would effectively time walk him here. Chewing the inside of his lip. He knows that this is actually extremely bad for the Brute.
Ilias, I've been here staring at your hand, just hoping one of them turns into a swing big or a show of strength if you stare long enough, but unfortunately, does not seem to be the case here for our Brute player. Commits a block 2 on defense here on Buck Wild.
So even 8 wouldn't have mattered.
Going to be pretty much the worst case scenario, falling all the way down to 5 and going to struggle to convert any of those cards in a meaningful way. Starstruck showing you just why it's so good.
Got any 9s, brother? Go fish? No? Okay, well, ship the turn back, most likely.
Now, I need to emphasize how painful this situation is. If you haven't seen Ilias's hand, I believe it is Bare Fangs, Wild Ride, Wild Ride. Now, you can get one of those. I love the Scabskins roll. That's just blissful. I'm glad that we took a game action over the course of this turn, regardless of anything else.
Now that's a correct Scabskins roll.
Coming to Arsenal, one of those 0 blocks is fine. Evasion, a very important part of Bravo, but even if there is a hand here that can't put Dominate together, Ilias is stuck with multiple pearls.
That's a pummel in hand. Now, you can't send this Starstruck. So it gets a little bit tricky, and obviously Smash Good Time, Edge of Their Seats aren't exactly the ideal vessels for this. Now, Pummel, of course, can be used on a weapon attack, on a hammer attack specifically, but it is such a rare use case for it. Still an option.
There's some cool things going on here.
Wait, maybe KO sucks.
A resource card in this matchup, but really good against those various potions you might find across the field from Verdant Storm of the Rose. This is a very curious spot. You could just send that Starstruck, send raw damage, force the issue again, or you can spend 4 cards and just send a Titan's Fist. If your opponent chooses to respect Pummel, great. I'll play Edge of Their Seats.
Yeah. Bro, so jittery.
And if they don't, you might just take the head off as a result.
I mean, Ilias has to be very, very suspicious if he sees a naked Titan's Fist thrown off a full hand when he is obviously not at lethal damage from what's being presented.
So, like, I think part of this is because he shoved armor for that Blood Rush Bellow turn. I think if he didn't shove armor on that turn and just accepted that he was going to have a smaller Blood Rush, none of this would have happened. He could have just not done that. If he had a little bit of armor, he could have fought over some of these on hits and then just kept having good turns. Instead, he wanted to have one really good turn, but now he's time walked himself multiple times because he couldn't fight over on hits.
Nothing puts the fear of Wraith into you than your opponent looking at a 4-card hand, tanking, considering their options, and swinging Titan's Fist. What are you supposed to take away from that situation?
Well, I just think that the addition of these Auras of Suspense now actually allows Guardians to do something with 4 cards when their opponent just passes back to them. In the past, it was pretty mopey. You sound like now Bravo less so, because he's got an outlet for his extra resources in terms of that dominate. We just empty the hand and go for another
4 card 10, sick.
I would keep my opponent very quiet. I want to come back around to maybe a hand that's more threatening here.
Oh, no.
Block, block, block. Oh, no. The no box. Oh, the humanity of it all. And again, the dichotomy of Broodcore strikes. And Bearwood will
Wait, KO sucks. Someone should have told the team that KO sucked.
That is a hand chock full of cards that do not block.
If I am starstruck by anyone right now, it is Bayer Budnick, who...
My God. This is why people play Guardian, I guess. I think I had like 4 conversations with Noah being like, are you really submitting KO to Worlds? And he's like, bro, stop roasting my deck. And then he did well at all our local events. I think he gaslit himself into KO because he kept shitting on our locals. Like, he made it sound like he had some like secret sauce on KO that I'm just doing something different on KO than everyone else is, and I just never saw it. The thing that he was doing different was like playing into people that weren't respecting what he was doing. Or FTKing me. Oh, Ellie. Lucas. Oh, we got some good games coming up. I'm just going to chat for a few minutes. And then we're going to sign off. We're going to watch all these games. We're going to watch all of them. But it's almost midnight. So we're just going to chat for a few minutes. Ah. You saw behind the curtain, literally. You can hear about the story of me maybe playing Prism on my video tomorrow. I have my Gravy Deck profile going up, and at the very beginning of the video, I talk about how I almost played Prism. So if you only care about that, you can just watch that video. It's like right at the beginning. But yeah, we're gonna watch the rest of these games. We're gonna be streaming tomorrow, like 6 p.m. EST, and then we'll try doing like 4 hours of streaming. Honestly, like Dalton, I was so close to playing it. I think if my last 2 days testing Prism went the other direction, I probably would have locked it. But I was getting shit on every game, so I was like, I'm running out of time to figure this out. I got like 2 days to completely flip 2 of the most popular decks. I'm still not that happy with my choice of deck. I think if I had another week, well, Dalton's data was showing that he was beating the big 3. That's why I was debating on playing Prism. I'm going to slam a deck that's beating the big 3. Oh no, Smurf, it was even worse than that. It was so cringe. I'm not going to spoil it. Watch the video tomorrow. You can listen to me crash out. Let me look at the heroes. What would I have played if I had more time? I think I was like 95% into Gravy, like 40% into Syndra, and like 10% into Verdance. But yeah, the Syndra matchup felt good if they weren't on poppers. I was basically scared that after Prism topped the calling like the weekend before, that people were going to put some more respect on Prism and put poppers back in their deck. Because up until that point, all the deck lists that people were bringing weren't playing poppers. It seemed like a perfect storm to bring Prism. It's off of everyone's radar. No one's respecting it. It's beating the big three. Seems like a good dark horse deck. I think if I have infinite time, I would have played Mario or Dio. If I had another week, I might have just spent it on Prism and gotten that to where I wanted it to be. And then probably still played Gravy. Maybe I should have just played Syndra, honestly. What's the Syndra Verdance matchup like? Oh, I have cookies. Based on my bracket, I'm pretty happy that I played Gravy because I played 5 Verdants. Overall, I'm happy with my deck choice. I'm like extremely happy with my LL deck choice though. I'm like, I think that was one of the happiest I was with my list for an event. If you guys want to see the Draw My list, I did just post it today. It's on the channel right now. It's pretty spicy. I really liked the deck. It was so nice getting to play Dromai again. I really missed her. So, I expected to get one game during the event where my opponent was not familiar with, hey, Jacob. Where my opponent wasn't familiar with Dromai. I was expecting one game. I think that's reasonable. She's been rotated for, what, like 2 years or so? I got that one opponent. They had no idea what was going on. That being said, I tried to explain everything that was going on. I'm not trying to, like, cheese them or anything. I was putting my dragons upside down so he could read them. I was trying to, like, shortcut for him in a way that was positive for him. Like, I'm attacking with this. It's gonna have go again. My board's gonna crash in. It's this much total damage if you don't block everything. Like, I'm trying to explain it to him so that way it's not that confusing. I was a sportsman-like player in that regard. I wasn't trying to cheese him out of the game. But I think he was inexperienced with his own deck as well, which was even worse for him. He had a turn where he blocked with a popper, then goes to his turn and realizes his hand doesn't really function now. He plays Mordred Tide, and then is like, fuck. Revel in Runeblood? Rune Rager Swarm? Pass. What? What? His logic was he wanted to keep his counters on his weapon. He was up to 4 counters on his Duskblade. But that certainly wasn't it. I had that happen so much back in RTN Season 1. The opponent windmill slamming a popper and then realizing their hand doesn't play. Oh my god. Those are the good old days. I agree, but like, he wasn't familiar with my deck. He wasn't that familiar with his own deck, it seemed like. So, easy dub. Everyone else I played against, though, seemed to know what was going on with Dromai. I think I played against a lot of boomers, so. The thing that I had on my side, though, which I don't mention this in the video, one of the edges in the format, I think, was playing a deck that you are comfortable with. One, no one's going to have enough games in this format to be properly prepared. So you're going to have to do like a little bit of thinking on your feet. And two, mistakes in this format are so ridiculously punishing, because you make a mistake in this format, you probably lose the game instantly. Like, you just die. So by playing something that you're really comfortable on, you're going to make less mistakes. So, you know, Dromai, I'm very comfortable. But also, on the other side of the table, I'm probably going to play a lot of people that aren't comfortable with the Dromai matchup. I guarantee I've played more of whatever matchup it is than my opponent has for every single matchup except for the Gravy matchup. That was the one where I was like, oh shit, I've never played that matchup. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but like, I'm sure I can figure it out. They're just playing a shittier Dromai deck. Yeah, the Gravy deck seemed pretty reasonable. Multiple Daltons. And then again, it's a deck that I'm comfortable on, or like whatever deck that you're playing in theory is a deck that you're comfortable on. So if you're in an unfamiliar situation, because you're comfortable with whatever deck you're playing, you can do that thinking on your feet and figure out what you're supposed to do on the fly. And like, I know that's something that I can do on Dromai. I've done that multiple times in events in the past. At Nationals, I had to figure out how to play 2 matchups on the floor. Though the one that I top 8'd. At calling Charlotte? What was the calling attached to the Uprising Nationals? Was that Charlotte? Whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. I got 9th at that one. It was my first time playing Dromai and paper. I put a ton of work into that, like a month of work into the deck. But I still had a lot of situations where I was like, I've never done this before, and I'm having to figure it out on the fly. Like, I'd never played the Dory matchup before, and I played 3 Dories that event. One of them was Josh Lau. Ironically, Josh was the easiest of the 3 Dories, because he was my 3rd one. And I sit down across from him, and he's just like, oh, Dromai, have you played this matchup before? And I was like, yeah, I played 2 at this event. And he was just like, oh, how'd that go? And I was like, I won, and then I talked to him at the end of the game, and I let him know that he was the easiest of the 3 Dories. But that was because I had figured out how to play the matchup by my 3rd game. And we just had like the most goofy game too. We hit this point. I need to do like a. Have you ever seen the animated videos where someone like draws like an animated short thing for someone's story? I need to do it for this story. Maybe a viewer could do that. So we're at the end of the game. I've got the swarm assembled. He goes, Warrior's Valor, another front pump. I think it was Sharpened Steel. Swings Dawn Blade at my face. I block 9. He pumps. I de-react. And then he tanks. And he's like, he's tanking forever. He's looking at all sorts of different things across the things. He's kind of muttering to himself. And I'm like, singing Steelblade? He's like, yeah, it's a singing Steelblade. So then we start talking together, trying to figure out what his out possibly could be here. And like, I'm like asking like, oh, do you have this in your deck? Do you have that? Can you grab a route right now? And he's like, no. In this matchup, I boarded out 2 of my routes. I only have the 1 and it's in my graveyard already. Okay. Well, like, what about this? And he's like, no. I don't play that many of that. And we're just like going through every possible tutor target. And we both kind of come to the same conclusion that the only way he can win this game is if he grabs, because right now he doesn't have go again on his weapon. He hasn't hit. The only way he could win is he grabs Glint, draws off Glint, and hits the one of Twinning Blade left in the deck. That is the only way he can win. I think I got one of the pumps wrong earlier. I think he has the +2 and then on hit draw card one actually on the combat chain. Because what happens next? I forget, because he ends up swinging for 5 later. Anyways, so we both determined this is the only way that he can win this game. Because if he doesn't, I reset his Dawnblade. He doesn't get through. He does no damage to me, and then I push the board and kill him. Or it's at least an unrecoverable life total. So he goes for it. He plays the tutor, grabs the Glint, plays the Glint, gives me the deck to shuffle. And I ask him, "You want me to give the top of the deck a kiss for good luck?" He's like, no, just like cut it normally. And I'm like, wet kiss or nothing. It's like, fine, wet kiss. Then Ethan, from out of nowhere, comes over and hands me a water bottle to wet my lips before the kiss of the top of the deck. I then pull my mask down, give it a nice sloppy smooch on top of the deck, put it down, and you want to flip it together? We both grab, like, a different corner of the top card of the deck, and we flip it together. And it's the twinning! Everyone goes crazy. We have like 20 people watching the game. Everyone's going crazy. And he's, oh my god, it's actually the twinning. Play the twinning swing. Block chest to de-react from hand. You had it the whole time? Yep, I just wanted to give you hope so I could steal it from you. And, oh my god, I took the soul from his goddamn body. He was deceased after that. I run into him later on at the event, and I'm like, Josh, wet kiss Dory. And he looks when I say that, and he's like, you again. And he just has the most disheveled look on his face. He is just a shell of the man that he was before. He was just so broken after that. Oh my god, it was so funny. I don't think he'd ever lost that matchup before either. So he was just like, what happened? How did just like sand through an hourglass? It just like slipped through my fingers. What happened? Oh, that was a fun game. But back to what I was saying before, that was another example of just like figuring out how to play a matchup on the fly. I'm good at doing that with Dromai. So if something happened at the event, like people playing Gravy Bones, I'm sure I could have figured it out on the fly. Draw My Life? Is that what the name of that type of content is? All right. That being said, I think this is a good time to stop stream. I'm an EP. I kind of want to play Final Fantasy VII. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll be streaming again tomorrow at 6. Stay tuned. We'll try finishing up the rest of day 1. Let me see how much we have left for day 1 coverage. Let's see. We're at the 3-hour mark. And there's 10 hours of it, but there's a lot of fluff. So maybe we finish it tomorrow, because that's like probably 6 hours worth of content that we got to go through, but we're going to skip a lot of it. So maybe we finish it tomorrow, and then we can do the rest next stream. I'll probably do this again next weekend, because I don't think I'm playing any events for a while. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night.